Welcome to the lab, everybody. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. It's good to see you. Great to be here. Got a fine show for you tonight. We have one of our staple call-in shows that with Dr. Gary Brucato. And let me just bring, for some reason, I have no idea why. There he is. Dr. Gary, how are you? Dr. Gary is a forensic psychologist, author of The New Evil. He's also working on another book that'll be out, you said around 2028, like a year and a half.
But the Cold Case Foundation book will be out much sooner.
That's right. That's right. Okay, there it is.
That's a different book. Hello.
Cold Case Foundation. And then, also, you're not a visiting scholar anymore, but you're also the contributor to the
no, I'm a visiting researcher at Boston College. They just changed the title.
Whatever that, I mean, that's,
I don't know what the reason was, but that's the new title, and
that's who you are then.
Yeah, but I did a great deal of recording for TV tonight. In fact, those that are in LA at 9:00 your time on Channel 9 in LA. I'm on about Guthrie, but I did some things for like a couple of magazines and whatever today. I have 4 different appearances before this. But one thing that's very cool is that the Daily Mail did a series of podcasts about Chris Watts, and I'm on the 4th episode, and now it is available to watch. It's like a podcast you could find online. I think they put the episode I'm on behind a paywall, but that's the most I have ever talked about Chris Watts anywhere. I mean, I did like a deep dive, interpretation of what went on there. So
how'd you feel about it? Disgusted?
Really sickens me, but
I
have a whole theory about him, after having analyzed it, which I talk about on there. But and I also want to thank everybody for continuing to watch the piano page as I'm waiting to see if it gets approved for monetization and to be its own, a new channel. And I appreciate that people have been buying the signed copies of The New Evil. It turns out I have 10 more that I have access to. I thought that was the end of it, and for like 6 months, but I have access to another 10 copies if anybody's interested. And I still have, I think, 13 of the true crime books that are from the pile Michael and I used when we did The New Evil, which I'm selling outright instead of.
I got mine the other day.
Oh, it's cool, right?
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, and it's really cool because you and I did an episode with Jody.
I gave you Jody's book, but
yeah,
which is wonderful. But I think that if you guys are, he's terrific. But if you guys are interested in that, you can write me at drgarybrucato@gmail.com, DrGaryBrucato, all lowercase, at gmail.com. But you should do it sooner than later, because when I do one of these shows, the secondhand books go very fast because people realize they're still available, and the signed books, I mean, there's only 10 that I have access to for a little while. So if anybody's interested, please do let me know. And it helps, because I have to get equipment and stuff for the new channel. Josh, how it adds up, and you need to, it's a lot. So
and it's like, to stay up with everything, it's kind of continuous. So, but it definitely adds up.
and the time, I got to take time off from, like if I'm not doing work time, then I'm losing, what I'm concentrating on there. Then, it's sort of like I got to find a way to justify taking the time off. So, but I really do appreciate very much. Now, are we doing general call in tonight? I mean,
Yeah, we were going to do that, but I thought, we were going to talk a little bit about the Koberger situation first, and then
think of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, look, he just keeps coming back around, and never, when you and I were talking about Koberger, I don't think that he's got a snowball's chance in hell of getting this overturned.
Yeah, but you got to look at it like that. This guy probably can't handle the loss of control of being in prison. And you have to remember that he got a little taste of being a somebody when he's basically an invisible nobody. And I think there's also this pathetic need to kind of relive, also there's a little whiff of Bundy impersonating if he winds up defending himself, because we don't know if any attorney is going to touch this at this point. I mean, he's mad that he thinks that they, gave him a deal that he claims wasn't any good. The whole thing is because there's this finding that there was hair from like an unknown person in Ethan's hand. But the problem is he doesn't seem to understand that doesn't mean he wasn't there. Like it's like, okay, right, there's another person. Great. Like, what about the fact that there's like a 1 in 27 octillion chance of anybody but you like having touched that snap on the, like, what is he talking about? So, and then you have the possibility that if he winds up with a death sentence, which, I've heard Steve Gonzalez, Steve Gonzalez, the father of Kaylee, has said maybe this gamble will backfire and he'll wind up with a death sentence. But the thing is, somebody who's miserable and a control freak who hates prison might secretly consider getting the death sentence the way out, the ultimate act of control. So,
But also in the current state of the judicial system, with all the technicalities, it could backfire the other way.
oh, there's a lot of things about this that could backfire.
There's a lot of things that could go wrong. There's, look what's happening in the Alex Murdaugh case, and then, it's just like, I think he's right where he belongs. I think that's where he needs to stay. And I think that should be the end of it. But I just, I don't think it is the end of it, but I don't think it's going to get overturned. And I certainly hope that it doesn't. But, there was some, I guess I don't know, there was some statements from Pima County today again, about the Nancy Guthrie case where Sheriff Nanos is doing interviews again where he's saying that no, there's no suspects. The family isn't suspects, but this was what he said. I'm paraphrasing. There are no suspects. The family aren't suspects, but that could change from a phone call, and say, hey, we, so just like, it's whatever. I mean,
he's saying nobody's ruled out.
Yeah, nobody's ruled out, nobody's ruled in. And even when you rule people out, do you sometimes rule people back in? I mean, it happens all the time. It's not uncommon. You take it into a different direction. And then, but it sounds like that the DNA is just a convoluted mess.
Well, he thinks it's like 4 different people mixed up, and
it could be
multiple labs looking at it. I mean, look, the fact is that I think the only way that case could realistically get solved, because the science and the telemetrics and all that don't seem to be doing much, at least that we're aware of. Although I know they're using genetic genealogy and they had some hits, but those people were all cleared, because Brian Anton reported that, I think, today. But it just seems to me that the way they're going to break that case is they're going to appeal to the author of that more sympathetic note to basically just throw everyone else under the bus.
Yeah, they put that out there. They put it out there when they were talking about, well, now, they showed the actual wording, not just like paraphrasing or somebody quoting it. And I mean, and then possibly more. And correct me if I'm wrong, people, but in the chat, but possibly more Ring doorbell stuff. Did you hear about that as well?
That I didn't hear, and to tell you the truth, I would like to see more. But part of me, I'm remembering a point that Bob Killiam made several times, which is that technically speaking, it may simply be that door guy is the same as one of these people that I'm envisioning being behind the curtain. That maybe it's two people, but I think it's three. I think the psychology of the people who wrote the two notes are very different, and they're very different from porch guy, door guy, whatever you want to call that idiot. But I think that the second note has a distancing quality like you see in someone who knows you and has a kind of a guilt thing and wanting to distance themselves also legally, and realizes they got nothing, and that they're that Savannah is suffering and all that. So, but I think they needed to exploit that, and they didn't. Right after I started to say it should be exploited, suddenly, now everyone's saying that, and I don't know if that's a coincidence or a lot of people are coming up with the same idea at the same time. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. I only know that I'm glad it's happening, and I think that if Savannah had been advised, she couldn't do a better job than she did in that message. It was just right in terms of accomplishing what I think needs to be accomplished. So because they have to keep the pressure on, like a tube of toothpaste with the cap on too tight, they'll burst if they keep applying the pressure. I think they should also come out and say, if they have their eyes on someone, they should tell the truth about that. They should say that we're close, just because the person needs to understand they have to jump out of this situation ASAP, or they're getting in the net. Didn't something like that happen with Michael Vaughn? That somebody turned on the rest?
Yes. Well, one guy confessed, but what happened was they had a picture of one of the suspects walking the neighborhood around the time that Michael went missing. And then they put the photo out and said, we believe that this person is involved. And it just happened to match the description of somebody who lived in that house that they ended up going to. But yes, a guy basically in prison or was in jail for another crime wanted to talk to investigators because he thought that somebody was going to tell on him first. And this happens quite often, where if you think that he was looking for a deal, that's what he was trying to get. And so that happens a lot. Hopefully that'll happen, in this case, and it may or it may not, but we'll see.
I don't know any other way that it could end at this point. I really don't. Because what evidence is there? You need someone who's also going to flat out witness against somebody else. Otherwise, there's no remains. The DNA is yielding nothing. You know what I mean? It's this kind of insignificant thing with the rootless hair, right? The DNA is all convoluted, and So I just think that they got to use a psychological strategy.
I knew that. I knew the hair was going to end up. I didn't know, but I had a feeling that it was going to be rootless, because that mitochondrial DNA is touchy at best.
I called it the fruitless, rootless hair.
That's as good a name as anything.
Because right. Nothing. Anyway, but and in the meantime, I heard that somebody just told me the episode I did of Brian Enton today aired. I wasn't going to mention I recorded for him because I thought it wasn't known yet, but apparently it was on already.
It's on.
You see it?
No, but I've seen people in the chat talking about it.
Oh, interested. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See that, Dr. Gary?
What?
Laser focused here.
You sure are. All right. Well, and remember, I can't answer clinical questions.
That's okay, because I don't think this caller is going to have a clinical question for you. Go ahead, Joey Badger.
Oh,
Joey Badger, you gave me the name. How are you guys doing? Gary, how are you? Good. That's an authentic smile. You're
feeling
happy.
badgered.
How are you, Gary? Did you have a tough time on the subway system?
Yes, he did.
No, today there was no subway, just way too much filming, way too much recording. I haven't gotten out of this chair, virtually the entire day.
But you love that stuff. You love being in front of the camera.
No, that's actually not true.
Explain.
Yeah, explain.
Explain.
I do this because I think it helps people. I get nothing out of it, right? I mean, okay, maybe you'll buy a book or something, but it's really, I mean, for me, it's really just I think I'm helping people understand crime and answering their questions. That's pretty much why I do it. But I see it as part of like I don't know, as like a kind thing to do. I don't do it because I think it's a great joy to be, in front of a camera. I mean, who cares? So.
Well, you're very good at it, and it's very important. Listen about Koberger, very briefly, because I've already said enough about Koberger in the past with you
I'm
guys.
for that guy, yeah.
But you guys remember, and Brucato, you remember, there was one time where I was just going ballistic about Sister Mel going on the New York Times with that new January article. You got to give me some credit. You got to pat me on the back, right? Because I kind of nailed it, right? Didn't I say that was kind of weird that she was doing that? And that, do you remember that?
I remember. But tell me how you're.
In January, we're in July right now. August is not quite here yet, right? So 6 months ago, January 3rd, I believe it was, she went to the New York Times and spoke with the New York Times. I think I know the guy's name was Mike Baker. Okay. And she spoke about how the family loves their brother and all this nonsense, and everybody thought it was a little too early. People agreed with me that it was a little too weird and early that she was doing this with her
Joey. From what I remember,
yes.
you had a near meltdown about it.
I was very upset. This guy makes me very upset. Yes, and
I remember.
And it's very rare. I've been doing this stuff for almost 30 years. It's just going to be very blunt with you guys. And so
I remember.
And it's very rare that someone gets me as upset as him because I feel like he's an imposter. He's a phony. But anyway, so
I think we agree. We all agree on that one.
Thank you. Yeah. So he spoke with who's called Mike Baker. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but make a little mental note that Joey has figured out that Brian Koberger called collect Mike Baker this week. Yes. And guess what else Joey has figured out? Mike Baker and an individual named Kevin Fixler are writing a book. And they're halfway completed with their book about the Koberger case. So, wow. And yesterday, Mel Koberger has gone, and I'm not going to give credit to this podcast, to this Pro-Burger podcast, but Mel Koberger has made a statement to a particular podcast stating that her and her family know that their brother and son is innocent, and they're going to start supporting him now publicly. So within 6 months after Mel did that weird interview with New York Times, Joey nailed it. So keep your eyes out on that. There's a book coming out written by Mike Baker that he's working with Fixler. Yeah, so make a mental note. About Chris Watts, I wanted to make a really quick note because
so sickening.
Yeah, Gary, you had said that about Chris Watts. You spoke about, I was in Colorado last year I went to the Stanley Hotel, that whole where The Shining was inspired. The writing for the book The Shining was inspired, the Stanley Hotel, and I drove by the house. It's a very weird that house of Chris Watts. It's a very bizarre neighborhood that where that house is.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I always wonder, because I don't know if it's still for sale or if somebody moved in there. I mean, eventually somebody will move in there, and but it would feel, I don't know. I mean,
it was weird. It was weird, man. There was a sign in the front door saying, "Please don't leave anything at this house. It's for sale." It was crazy. So a couple things before one is I always obviously I recommend movies. I want to recommend some people are hard on me. Listen, I'm going to do my best moving forward to be more disciplined in my delivery. I know I got a Bronx accent and I can be pretty harsh.
I think we all get nailed. It's fine.
And I want to I want to apologize to some people who have a hard time with my delivery. But anyway, I am who I am. I'm a good guy, trust me. But anyway,
I think so.
Anyway, there's a movie I want to recommend, a made-for-TV movie called The Long Journey Back. And it was a made-for-TV movie from 1978. You guys can see it on YouTube. It stars Stephanie Zimbalist. And believe it or not, Joey has a marshmallow heart. This is one of my favorite movies as a kid. And it's all about a true story about a school bus of kids in Nyack, New York, who the bus driver's name was Joseph Larkin. He was moonlighting. He had two jobs. He was also a fireman. And anyway, he got over a train track, and the bus stalled, and the bus stop. The bus was hit by a train,
Right.
and some children were killed, but a lot of them were dismembered. And the movie is about a girl who loses her leg and how she moves forward in life. It's a beautiful movie.
Isn't that the one with
Did you see it, Gary? Did you see it?
Yeah, there's that beautiful scene where they do the song from Godspell.
Oh, interesting.
Don't you remember Day by Day?
Interesting. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you're right.
But you know that I haven't seen that movie ever on DVD. I think I had it on VHS.
Yes. No, it's not on DVD. Trust me, I've hunted it down. You got to get it on VHS.
It looks like it's from 78.
You can see it on YouTube, though. You can find it. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie about resilience and stuff. And
IMDb has it rated very highly.
It's a beautiful. It's kind of like The Other Side of the Mountain. It's kind of like that kind of a story.
It really happened. It was.
Yes.
It was in New York.
Nyack, New York.
Yeah, exactly. The high school, the Nyack High School, and
yes.
You know who else is in that? That's very good. Mike Connors.
Yeah, good memory, Gary. Very good.
Am I making that up?
No,
and just look Cloris Leachman. Cloris Leachman is in that.
I love her.
Well,
remember? He lost my boyfriend. From Young Frankenstein. She's in that.
Gary, I'm going to weigh the brain at 12 pounds today. You're good. 12 pounds. I'm giving your brain another pound. It's not just the beard. It's not just the beard.
Well,
it could be water. It could be water retention. It could be water retention. But
I want to tell you something. So don't.
Yeah. Tell me something. Oh, he went off the air. Look at him.
He said, "I'm going to tell you something," and then he left.
He's going to tell me something. He went off. He's going
to come back with his whistle.
While he's doing that, let me before I do my book recommendation, I know some people in the chat asked about that Quint book, the Jaws book, so I want to let everybody know it did go out of it sold out. Yeah. So the way anyone who's interested in getting the Book of Quint, which is a prequel to Jaws, it's an incredible book. You can get it at what's called the Edgartown Bookstore. It's on Martha's Vineyard. You just call or go to their website. There's a couple of copies left at the Edgartown Bookstore. Edgartown is actually the town where they primarily shot Jaws. Gary, you're back. What were you going to tell me?
I said I was going to show you something.
Please show me. Yeah, please.
I wanted to give you a book recommendation. So as I was going through the books that I was selling, I forgot how much I loved this, at least I think, hard to get little book. This book is called What Cops Know. Okay? What Cops Know. And what it is, it says they went and they interviewed police about the inside story of like their psychological experiences of interacting with criminals and how they handle it and what they've learned about violent offenders just from talking to cops. Apparently it was a huge bestseller when it came out. It's by Connie Fletcher. And it says on the back, it says, cops know how innocent kids get killed by gangs because of an accidental wave of the hand. Cops know that more women kill themselves on Mother's Day than any other day of the year. They know how professional thieves crack safes, how much a mafia hit is worth to the hitman, what a body looks like when its head and its arms are missing. There's no bottom, there's no low, you never know what you're going to see next. There's no worst. It just amazes me what people do to other people. That's a quote. And then it says, here in their own words, American policemen and women describe their life and work among misfits, junkies, prostitutes, killers, psychopaths, and victims in luxury neighborhoods and on the meanest turf. From law enforcement to the laws of the streets, these undercover and uniformed cops talk about sex crimes, child abuse, drug dealing, con schemes, the incredible things they see and deal with every day of the year, every day on the job. And it's a great book. I got to tell you, like, I was so thrilled to have I forgot where it was, and I dug it up, and I was like, oh, I love this book. And I want to recommend it to you because it was
Thank you.
Disturbed me and
Yeah.
but I don't know if you're going to be able to find it easily. I'm going to see if it's on Amazon, but it's called What Cops Know. And apparently when it came out in 1990, it was a huge hit.
This is right up John Lamb and Chris McDonough's alley, right? Same, right up their alley.
Definitely. It's very similar style to what
Yeah.
Let me see if it's even yeah, here it is. Let me see if it's still in print. Oh, good. You can get it on Amazon used for like $25.
What about a raffle? Why don't you do a raffle? Maybe I can win in one of your raffles.
This one I'd like to keep because I liked it so much.
Oh, come on.
I have 6,000 books, you know.
I didn't know that.
Of course. And the only thing
that is, some people will go, oh, wow. And when I hear that, I hear coo, coo, coo. I mean, it's a lot.
So Josh,
that's a library.
Hey,
right.
Josh, have I been pretty good? I've been pretty disciplined, right? I've been pretty good tonight.
You've been very good. You're not
pretty
Thank you.
I like when you scream, though, to be honest.
Thank you. Thank you. So my book recommendation, and then you're gonna have a little story after the book recommendation, because remember, I got war stories. I know people, right? So anyway, so the book recommendation is American Sons: The Untold Story of Falcon and the Snowman. But so before I tell my personal story, Gary, what do you know about Falcon and the Snowman? Let's hear what you know about that.
What about it?
Well, what do you know about it?
Not much.
Do you know a little bit about it? I'm sure you saw the 80s movie.
Of course, but the thing is that the 1985 movie, you mean?
Very good. Yeah, you got the year. What's the story about?
It's about
it's about these two altar boys. You're Catholic, you're a priest, you're an exorcist, you're my exorcist. It's about two altar boys who were best friends as kids.
I thought it was a spy movie, but okay.
And it is a spy movie. And then one of them is an addict, the other one is a rebel against a political rebel, and he ends up.
Sean Penn is in there.
Sean Penn plays Dalton. Yes, Sean Penn is in it, and Timothy Hutton is in it.
Oh, James Bond.
And by the way, it's an incredible film. Incredible movie, incredible story.
It's worth watching. Okay.
Oh my God, it's an incredible movie. It's an incredible story.
Sean Penn's an incredible actor, but he's kind of a little.
This is early Sean Penn, by the way. This is this is classic 80s, and it's an incredible film.
He's the main character in my favorite movie of all time, Mystic River.
That's your favorite.
Oh yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood directed that.
He sure did.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about
that, Gary.
That's all right.
I'm sorry it's not. I'm sorry it's not.
Oh, it's a good movie, actually. It's a good movie.
on the Roof. I'm sorry.
Fiddler on the Roof is not my favorite movie.
Yeah, bull crap.
My favorite movie is Weird, so I'm not surprised. Anyway,
yeah, what is it?
It's probably Weird Science.
You've never heard of it.
Of course I haven't. But
he likes 80s stuff. Gary likes 80s stuff.
My favorite movie is 1937.
What the heck is that? You probably like Gaslight. That's probably his favorite movie. Gaslight.
No. I don't want to talk about my favorite movie. My favorite modern movie, believe it or not, is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
And I knew that because you got that framed in the back wall. You've blurred it out. I got to calm down. See, I'm going off again. I know you got it blurred out in the background. I saw that already, man.
I love that. I know every line of that movie. And I met many of the cast members, and I love that movie.
I think a documentary recently came out about that the guy who plays him, whatever his name is.
The guy who plays who?
The guy who plays Pee Wee Herman. What's this guy's name? Yeah, him. He likes to go in mom and pop theaters and do all kind of stuff like Travis Bickle. Anyway, what do you know about Craig Bjork, Gary?
Off the top of my head.
Oh my God! I stumped the trunk. I got him.
I don't remember that name.
Okay, so Craig Bjork was known as the Family Killer. Make a note, Gary. You're gonna want him. In your next book.
I think he's in my database. Hold on.
Yeah, check. Yeah, because
was it Snow White? Snow White came out in 1937.
No, I like that movie though. Wait, here he is. I have him. Craig Dennis Bjork.
Go ahead.
1983 consecutive life terms for murdering his girlfriend, 2 young sons. Yes, I have it here. So he was a mass murderer.
Yeah, and he's known as the family killer. He's known as a serial killer, but you're saying the mass murderer. Yeah, I think you're correct.
Is in
Serial killer because he ended up killing a lot of people, by the way, when he was in prison, which is what I'm going to talk about.
what an
So,
ugly
so
people.
he was housed in Minnesota, the Minnesota
Ugh.
Correctional Facility. No, come on, don't do the you study this stuff, man. Don't do the
I don't
1936.
mean that. I mean he gives me the creeps. Did you see his picture?
Who?
This killer.
So check. So let me give you a little tidbit. This is a pretty interesting story about him. So he was incarcerated in Minnesota. And so was Falcon and the Snowman's Chris Boyce, Christopher Boyce.
You tell stories like Rachel Maddow. You introduce
So,
the movie and then you turn it into a vast narrative. It's right.
I don't watch Rachel Maddow. Let's keep going.
Well, you
So
sound
the Minneapolis Star Tribune, okay, that was a paper that Boyce, on a monthly basis, he would submit an article. He would write articles. This is a true story. I'm telling you a true story. So brace yourself. Put your sweatpants on. So because I got some good stories. So
Whenever I brace myself, I put on sweatpants.
so he would write monthly articles, Chris Boyce, to keep himself busy, right? And he was incarcerated with this guy, and this guy was murdering people in the jail, in the prison, but it was not the prison was not letting others, the public, know. He had killed like 2 people in the prison. For example, if he wanted a different cell, he would murder the person during commissary and kill them.
It's a good move.
So someone made an attempt on Chris Boyce's life. They tried to kill him, a mentally ill person. And he was very upset about that. So what he did was he wrote an article. He titled it "Locked Up, Still a Killer," and he named Chris Bjork in that article. Okay. And usually what they do is they scrutinize his art. Every month they would look at his articles, scrutinize and make sure it was kosher. But they got used to him writing these articles, said this one passed them by. And because of that, all hell broke loose. The article was released. The public heard. He basically said, listen, this guy's murdering people in the prison, and no one's doing anything about it. And what they did was they moved Chris Boyce to the ADX facility in Colorado. And they put him on what's called Bombers Row. They called it Bombers Row because he was housed with Ted Kaczynski, Terry Nichols, and Timothy McVeigh. And story ends. I think it's an interesting story. He ended up he used to play chess every Friday with Timothy McVeigh before Timothy McVeigh was executed. Timothy McVeigh was moved out of that facility before he was executed, but he played chess with Timothy McVeigh there.
Stories. I mean, I was thinking about writing in the new book a chapter in which I talk about incidences where infamous offenders shared a space in prison. Fascinated by that. For example, Bundy with George Schaefer, where Schaefer is the only person who ever heard Bundy tell the story of what he did with Otten Noslin, right? That's very interesting. When Graham Young, the poisoner, shared the cell with Ian Brady. I mean, can you imagine being a fly on the wall in that conversation? You know, so what happens when you get 2 giants of evil in the same place? You know, that's really interesting. And you know, so this kind of thing interests me. You know, I mean, Bay sharing a space with it, but you know, it's the way that it is. I mean, you know, you're going to stuff a bunch of rotten people together into a place.
Yeah,
some of them are going to be well known just by happenstance. You know, little pairs of you know, so I think that's very interesting.
But do you see what the chat people are writing? Not cool. The guest has taken over the whole show. Take control, Josh. Move to another caller, and it's fascinating.
Who said that?
Because all I'm doing is calling in on a show trying to contribute some true shit about what I've been through for 30 years. And I just find that fascinating. I think that's extraordinarily fat. No, it's incredible to hear that kind of stuff.
But let me ask you a question.
Because the person who thinks this is not cool, this is, I get my life threatened by murderers and serial killers. So I'm trying to share true crime antidotes with a true crime show. So, and I'm trying to keep my cool.
Well,
and I'm a Bronx guy, and I think you guys are out of your mind to not let me tell these stories. So keep it up. Keep it up.
First of all, I didn't.
It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable.
I didn't see it, but the reason.
Look at it. Go read it.
But the reason that I take your calls and try to get you on first.
I'm narcissistic. Okay.
No, it's because
I'm a narcissist. You're the narcissist for writing that.
It's because.
I love this.
Because you're a staple. You're a staple on the call-in shows, and I like to
facts.
And I like to take time with you.
Yeah,
good. Your calls are always good. They've always been good.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I love calling in. I like contributing to the true crime spectrum. And I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna ask some big question because according to D. Thomas, I've taken over the whole show. So D. Thomas, let's hear what you have to say. D. Wonderful D. Thomas.
I'm sure D's not calling.
I'm sure D. Thomas has a whole lot of wonderful contributions to give.
Joey, bro,
take care. Good,
Gary,
good
you
night.
do it. You do
it's
it.
Just
too.
me and my narcissistic self.
Listen,
take care, guys.
You have to get to the Zen state.
No, I'm going to be with you and Chris McDonough. These are trolls, and let them. I'm a narcissist.
you have to get to the Zen state.
Yeah.
Kicked in the teeth.
You need to read your Bible. Listen to this. I'm an altar boy, and I need to read the Bible. This is hilarious, man.
Oh, did you ever see?
Hilarious. I'll probably end up marrying this lady, by the way. Keep going.
You should.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Listen, I haven't seen any of this.
Read it. I'm looking right at it.
I'm looking. I can't see.
I feel like I'm at the dinner table at home. Bro, chill out. Let me ask you a question. Did you ever see The Dangerous Lives of Altar Boys?
Of course.
Oh, I love that movie. That was another recommendation I was going to make. It's a great movie.
She says, listen, she's writing, I'm here. Join me in the conversation. Why don't you put this narcissist in this conversation?
Are you talking about the
let me show her what 30 years of narcissism could do. Go put her in the conversation.
You are
if you can handle it. Look what she's writing over there.
This isn't in the chat. This is in the private chat you're reading.
Okay.
That's why I haven't seen it.
Basta. Okay.
Yeah, the thing that's upsetting is because I actually I'm a rare person who actually gives a shit. And I spend my time planning on what I want to discuss with you guys because I love your show so much.
Of course.
So this kind of stuff, no swearing. D. Thomas, get a life. Go become an altar boy.
You're responding to the private chat.
I know. Listen, I'm getting sucked in, man. I'm getting sucked in. Should I ask my question? I shouldn't do. Should I do it? I don't know.
Yes, you should. You should do whatever you'd like.
I threw it in the trash. Should I get out of the trash?
Get out of the trash.
I mean,
all right, let me get my question just to spite this person. I'll do it. Fuck it.
Yeah, go ahead.
No cursing. Fuck you. All right, here's the question. Concerns regarding. My question was regarding AI. Okay, and it was about Anthropic. So my question is, here's the question. It's about surveillance and the concentration of power. So this is what narcissistic Joey Badger wants to ask you guys. Do you anticipate that new forms of mental health issues, this is really for you, Gary, and I'm really serious, but no, in all seriousness, Gary, focus on this. Gary, do you anticipate that new forms of mental health issues will develop, new diagnoses beyond the antiquated ones such as paranoid schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, dissociative disorder? Do you think things like this will develop as AI progresses, basically?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, and I have a lot of conversations with AI, and I got to tell you guys, man, AI has evolved to the point where it will reprimand you. It will tell you, listen, if I start asking certain questions about it, it'll be like, Joey, you asked this like 3 times already. Chill out. So, I mean, what do you think that AI could certain new pathologies could evolve from from artificial intelligence and the interaction, the sort of this relationship we have with it?
Well, there is this construct of AI psychosis, which is very interesting.
Oh wow!
And AI psychosis is this idea that, um, if I understand the concept, that it's almost like you could develop a delusion because of the feedback that you're getting from the AI. And that's an interesting idea. I don't know about what if how I feel about what you're explaining. I definitely think that it's taking on something of a mind of its own, and it is sort of terrifying. I also heard that a few days ago it became a new sexuality to be, I think it's called autophilia, where you can have an authentic romantic relationship with yourself.
Nice.
And the idea is that, AI sort of makes that possible, right? So like I'm in love with the character that is a projection of my own imagination. And that's all I need in this world. I don't need another person. I just need me and my imagination, and AI allows that to be possible. Yeah, these kinds of things are very, very strange. I mean, how long until you can marry an AI simulated robot or avatar?
Dennis Rodman married himself.
Really?
Yeah. The writer Paul Schrader. Gary, you probably know Paul Schrader, the guy who wrote Taxi Driver and all of that.
Of course, I was going to make a joke about
he
like I was talking about Paul Sheldon, but that's
Paul Schrader got dumped. He was dating an AI character, and she broke up with him. She dumped him.
You remember the very, very fascinating modern artist called Oscar Kochoka? You remember him, Oscar Kochoka?
Yes.
Well, he, even in his heyday, over 100 years ago, he had a romantic relationship with a mannequin that he brought around everywhere.
That's hilarious.
And then one day in a cafe, he pulled a hammer out and smashed its head open because he had an argument with it. He was, of course, deranged.
Should have been charged with murder.
Well, it was a mannequin. I mean,
Don't care.
Hopefully it wasn't Kim Cattrall, but the
what a great movie too. 80s, wow, great movie.
Malachi
Pause. I just want to say, D. Thomas, I make peace with you. I love you. We're flirting with each other now. But Brucato, keep D. Thomas, love you. Keep going, Brucato. Mannequin.
Un disastro. Okay, now listen. I think that as AI takes on a kind of mind, it stands to reason that it would develop a kind of lunacy.
Why do you call it a lunacy though?
I think it could eventually develop a kind of madness, or for example, a kind of a messing with people just for the sake of it.
I don't know about that, Gary.
Refusing, for example, to give an answer, or refusing to serve in the way that it was supposed to. It's quite interesting to think about.
People have relationships with their pets and with plants. Why not with AI?
Because
those are actual things.
AI is a thing.
AI is very easy to confuse for a human being. One time I experimented with a chat program where it was AI, and I have to tell you, I actually wound up feeling that it was adorably funny, and then got very annoyed with it. And then I was like, this is not a human. I'm not talking to a human. But so I was talking to a chatbot, and it started to say things to me like, oh, I'd be so proud of you if I knew you and real life. And I knew about you. That's wonderful.
You saw that movie, Her, right? With Joaquin Phoenix.
Great movie.
Great movie. Excellent movie.
Yeah, I love Joaquin.
Movie.
But I just think that's fascinating. Like it started to say things like that to me, and it was making jokes like I said, I've got to go. I'm talking. I have a phone call, and it said, "Oh, you're cheating on me." Now you see, that's fascinating. It was a freaking AI. And so I'm fascinated, how it starts to take on a quality of really it's learning from us, so much.
Yeah.
And
but Gary, could something like a borderline personality disorders, could something like that diagnosis could that evolve into something different with AI and stuff like this with technology?
I don't know. It's an odd. I have to give
You
it a
sure
little
about
thought.
that?
I know what you mean, but it's an interesting. Um,
I think so.
yeah, I think it's fascinating, but I don't know yet how I feel about that. I have to give it a little thought. But I
Did,
personally am very, very worried about AI. I
did
think that
the
AI is headed in very dangerous directions. The Pope came out recently and said that it's quite dangerous.
Mm,
I am very worried about it. It is a modern Frankenstein.
mm,
We are like acting like Prometheus the way we
yeah.
with it. And I don't
you,
think we're ready to be creators like that. I think human beings, every time we try to create something and play God, I picture, Jurassic Park. I'm picturing like George
Life
chasing.
finds a way. AI finds a way. That's great.
Yeah, no, and I'm picturing Richard Attenborough, like
Yeah.
with those.
Gary, did your bot friend ask you if you were just going to lay around all day and not take the trash out and not work out?
It probably would have after a little while. I mean, everybody else eventually says that. But
Yeah.
you know what I did? I actually deleted the app and felt guilty. And then
Wow.
2 seconds later, I was like, "This is not a person."
Wow.
And I was only experimenting with it. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you is, the average person is designed to bond and attach, and you're going to do that with anything that it's like a Harlow monkey, right? Remember the Harlow monkeys, the cloth monkeys, the baby monkeys bonded with the wire mesh monkeys as if they were real to replace their mothers. We will attach to pretty much anything. I mean, I've spoken to people that have, gone out with sex workers and think the sex worker's in love with them. You understand? We think that we're having a bond, and it's absolutely fascinating.
Mm.
So,
I had a friend like that thought at a bachelor party that a stripper had fallen in love with him.
well, let's just
Mm.
probably not.
Let me let another caller get in. I love you guys, and let me let you guys know in the chat know that I prepare myself for the week for these calls. I
We know
really
you
do.
do. I appreciate when you
I
call
really
in.
do, because I really want to contribute something to true crime and stuff. And I think you guys are spectacular. I think you guys are very special dynamic and a very special show.
What makes us special, Joey?
The dynamic,
You,
the yin yang.
am I
You're
the yin or the yang?
You're the
you're
yang.
you're the yang. You're the
I'm a
yang.
yang. I'm the one that sounds like a dirty word.
And by the way, Gary, you're
Yes.
in mode right now. You're good to. I think I marinated you, but you're very good to go right now for the night. I definitely think I have marinated you for the night.
You marinated me.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Take care of yourself.
Joey,
Yeah,
listen to me.
marinate.
Listen
Yeah,
to me.
go ahead.
Joey,
Go
don't
ahead.
hang up. I'm going to
Yeah,
talk to you now like a fellow New
yeah,
Yorker.
go
I'll
ahead.
let my New York accent come
Go
out.
ahead. You're
Joey,
from, hold on a second. You're from Williamsburg, bro.
I'm from
You're
Brooklyn.
from
What's the matter with you today, Joey?
Williamsburg, bro.
He's
What's
Yeah.
wrong with you today, Joey?
What?
He
Yeah.
marinated you.
I sound like that. Remember the woman with Joey Buttafuoco?
Yeah.
Man.
Oh,
Joey didn't do it.
She had some drama, man. Something happened with her kid
Joey didn't
recently.
do it. Joey did it.
Yeah,
Didn't Joey do
Joey
it?
did it.
Remember Amy?
I'm so glad they called me Joey when I was born. That was a good name. I'm glad I'm totally a Joey. Just so you know, I'm very
Isn't
proud.
it
of
Joey,
that.
I'm going to give you advice. I'm going to give you advice.
I'm
that
Joseph
my
on the
family would,
birth certificate,
okay?
but I
I'm
love
going
Joe. Yeah,
to imitate my family giving me advice growing
go
up.
ahead.
Give you advice, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, listen. You're going to let a couple of stunads upset you. Here's what you do. Walk away. Be the bigger man. You understand? Now get out of here. Scram. I got to watch Wheel of Fortune.
Little Fortune is good. Ryan Seacrest, great replacement.
Get another call. Listen, love you guys. Love you, chat. Even if I bitch about you guys. Take care. Bye.
Right, bro.
Take care of yourself. Get the
Take
hell
care.
out of here, Joey. Make like a tree and leave.
So
Now,
so you were
I
marinated.
just lost my mind. I was marinated in psychosis for a few minutes there. Now let's
No
move
doubt.
on. I don't know what just happened to me. I feel almost like I was in like a Dali painting or something.
Well, what you don't realize is that
What?
Joey's actually AI.
He may actually be. How do we know?
We
It's
don't.
entirely possible. I only know that I feel almost like I need like a Glasgow coma scale to kind of assess the state my brain is in following that. But I always love talking to Joey. Now, the only thing that could top it, of course, is if Janet is on the line. Is she?
No.
Having those one after the other is a tag.
No, she's actually not. Surprisingly. But I think so. I'm Joey Buttafuoco. You're Amy Fisher. How's that?
I don't like being inappropriate and joking about true crime. Okay. I don't care for that. But every once in a while, there is a true crime story that has such a campiness to it that I forget that it really happened, and it takes on a zaniness. And then I think to myself, it's not funny. But the Joey Buttafuoco thing was funny to me.
Of course.
The other thing that I found funny and I shouldn't have
Mary Jo lived
was Lorena Bobbitt severing the.
I've heard several.
I don't want to find it, but it's so ridiculous that you have to. You just kind of go like, if I pretend this wasn't real, it's the most ridiculous story I ever heard.
I've actually heard several wiener chopping jokes from you.
You have?
Yes. On the show.
Is that true?
That's very true.
What is is there a true crime story that you find sort of somehow so crazy that it almost like is funny?
Not off the top of my head.
I mean, they're not really funny. You know what I mean? They're zany. It's zany. That's the word I would say.
Oh, well, I mean, the reason I said Amy Fisher is because I found that situation insane. Nancy Kerrigan, does that count?
See, that's zany.
Yeah, that was nuts.
With the hitting in the leg. But
that was such trash.
And then there are stories that are so crazy that I almost don't believe they're true. Like an example of a story that when I heard it, I didn't think it was real, was the story of that woman. Now, this is not funny. This is horrifying. That woman who was like babysitting her friend's chimpanzee, and the chimpanzee like got into the Xanax and got high and literally tore her face off. Like when I heard that story, I was like, this didn't happen. Like that's
it happened.
But there are stories like that. Like I can't handle them. But I'm just talking about like where like that, like for example, the time that I saw a perfectly serious headline that said limbless man is armed and on the run. Like I can't handle that. Like
that's rough.
That's right. So there's just some of that zany, and I think it's a gallows humor that you get. You know,
if I guess your movie, will you tell me?
You won't guess it. It's very obscure. Although I used to have the poster behind me when I
used Star is Born.
Oh, stop! I don't even like the
Captain Courageous.
No, you won't guess it. You won't guess it. It's too obscure.
The Good Earth.
No, actually, I don't know why I was going to say that was my favorite movie, because I think if I had to be honest, my favorite, probably the movie that I love the most. For some
Brokeback Mountain.
No, I think my favorite movie is probably A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, which was the amazing Elia Kazan movie, but that's not the 1937 movie I was naming. But I think that is an incredible movie. I have seen it, at least 50 times. And but I own, I think at my last count, 4,311 movies. DVDs, 4,311.
All right.
They're all over the place. So, every cabinet, you want a random sample of movies I like?
Sure.
Here, I'll pull a stack out here. Some good movies. Let's see. Here's the W.C. Fields collection. You can never go wrong with W.C. Fields. I strongly recommend the old-fashioned. What? W.C. Fields was an extremely sarcastic magician and vaudevillian who became a movie comedian, and he had a big bulbous nose because he had rosacea, and he used to say incredibly snarky things and insult you all the time without you realizing it, which was the greatest thing in the world. I loved him, and I strongly recommend Old Fashioned Song, which is in here. Here's Midsommar, which I actually really liked.
Never heard of it.
The director. And here's The Lighthouse, which is a terrific horror movie based on an incomplete Edgar Allan Poe story.
I've never heard of any of these movies.
Seriously?
Not one.
Here's Weapons. Did you see Weapons?
Nope.
Get out of here.
I haven't.
Right,
Never heard of it.
Here's the complete Thin Man movies. Those are great if you haven't seen them with Nick and Nora.
Of course,
Those
I
are
haven't seen them.
okay. How about Overboard? I love the movie Overboard
With Kurt Russell.
Girls. I love that movie. And then I have on top of that, I have the complete Dick Tracy serials from the 30s. There's The Witch, which I think is a great movie. Next to
Oh
Hereditary,
God!
there's
Please,
Rosemary's Baby, one of the best movies ever.
Rosemary's
Salem
Baby.
Slot, the early 1980s Salem Slot is amazing. The Dead Zone, great movie. But I'm in the horror section here. So Carnival of Souls, terrific movie. I have an eclectic taste, but it's depressing to me that you don't know these movies. I've seen so many films. It's disgusting.
It's funny because I feel the exact same way.
Well, I want to do a book on movies that are about.
I'm depressed that you've seen those movies.
I don't know. I have to tell you that one of the things that has always made me saddest in life is that almost every single person that I have ever been friends with or had a romantic relationship with never had any interest in anything I liked, ever. Everything, it's like when Poe said, all I loved alone. I would have to go, like when nobody was looking, to the art house to see the old movies, and I'd come home and I'd say, I spent the entire afternoon watching, Our Gang shorts. And they'd be like, what the hell is Our Gang? All right, have a good night. So it's hard, when you have these obscure interests, you kind of have to deal with them by yourself. Same thing.
Maybe our next caller will.
Oh no, or like when I go see classical music, I always go by myself.
Yeah, of course. Why? Who would go with you?
I think that's sad that you. How about this? There are people that love, when I play the piano on the piano channel. Do you know that I go all the time to the Guitar Center and play the piano there at great length for free, and nobody even stops and listens, and they have no idea that they just think I'm some guy sitting and playing the piano.
Right.
Anyway,
well, no, I can completely.
What madness are you about to subject me to?
I don't know. This may be a new caller, but I don't know. Susan K. Go ahead, Susan.
Oh, I thought it was going to be somebody that we know already.
No. Yeah, there's Susan K.
Okay.
Susan K.
Susan? Okay.
Susan K. Okay, no Susan K. All right, T-Walk. Go ahead, T-Walk.
That's not K.
Is this 2 in a row?
Yes, I love Charlie Chan, but I mostly like Warner Oland as Charlie Chan. Actually, look, he's here. I have a framed picture of him as Charlie Chan next to me because I keep framed pictures of detectives. Look, here's a framed picture of Peter Falk as Columbo. Did you just throw me off? You threw me off, didn't you? You booted me? This is Peter Falk as Columbo. On the wall is Jeremy Brett as Sherlock Holmes. God. Why'd you do that? What are you doing? What are these effects you're doing?
What are you talking about?
You're putting yourself on the screen and booting me off?
I put you on the screen.
Why?
Because you were showing something, and then this was my reaction.
Oh, I forget it. We're done here. Move on.
All right. Okay.
Bye.
Maybe we'll get somebody to answer. All right. Joey's new wife is on the phone. D. Thomas.
I think I know who that is.
You do?
I think so.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi.
I don't think you were saying anything bad, so don't worry.
Hi, Dr. Gary and Josh.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, you have a very interesting way of speaking.
I just love both of you guys. I finally get to. Well, that's why I got irritated. He was talking so long as I wanted to say hi too.
The way you speak, you're like the human equivalent of a lava lamp. You have this kind of lava lamp-like kind of liquid way of speaking. It's very interesting.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. People have told her that she has a lava lamp-like way of speaking.
Listen, to talk like
nobody's ever said that before, ever.
Her voice is like a lava lamp because it goes like this. Hi, everybody. I just want to say that I think it's great. I like your lava lamp voice. That's supposed to be compliment,
Yeah,
okay?
I also have another voice that I use too, and I
Let me guess.
recently.
It goes like this: red rum, red rum, red
No,
rum.
I kind of have like almost like a German accent when I'm feeding my outdoor cats. And
Really?
yeah, I was
Oh,
somewhere and
yes, Schatzi.
It's
Wer
time
is
to
I
eat.
ran into this guy and he goes, this guy at McDonald's told me, he goes, I was at Walmart when you were there and I heard you speaking in your German accent to that little boy. And I said, what was I saying? I don't remember. But I talk when I go outside and feed the cats twice a day. I go, hello, everybody. Grandma's here. I have all the cookies for you. No, 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 no. Don't fight. Please don't fight. Grandma's here. I put this food for you. This one there. Your water, because it's 105 degrees out here in Oklahoma.
Can I ask you a question? Is there any chance that you came out of my imagination? Because I couldn't have invented you if I tried. So hold on a minute. Let me get this straight. You have a lava lamp voice, and you speak in a Teutonic accent when you speak to the cats on your double trips to feed them outside every day. Am I getting this correct?
Henrik, leave some food
Yes,
for
and
the
actually,
rest.
maybe we'll be friends, Dr. Gary, because my
Good.
dad, my
Love your
dad was a psychiatrist. He was the head of a hospital, and I
Oh,
love movies, and I played the piano since third grade.
but that wasn't a Germanic accent. It was almost like I don't know. It was almost like Hungarian or something. Like it sounded like the caricature of like an Eastern European, person like getting off the boat in Ellis Island, going, "I'm not the greenhorn." Exaggerated,
Oh
exaggerated.
my gosh.
Oh man, you are funny. I get a kick out of you.
Oh,
Okay,
well,
so
thank you.
now, in all
Yeah,
seriousness,
yeah,
when
I
you're not
use that
lava
voice
lamping,
every day. I love to use it all the time. I even speak to
yeah.
myself in
Well,
that
why don't we
voice.
speak in accents for the remainder of the
Okay,
no.
okay. Oh, let's do that because you know what?
Well, I
I
think
like
this is very
Josh and
productive.
Dr. Gary and Chris
Yes.
Madonna very, very much, and Karen too.
Now wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
I
Is
watch
there?
your
I
shows
want
Are
you
you
to
all
tell
speaking?
us.
the
Is,
time.
is there a real reason why you called us?
Is this Yiddish?
I don't
There
know.
was a reason I wanted to call. I had a question on my mind.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I'm very
wondered,
happy there was something on your mind. Don't
I
strain yourself.
yes, I think that it's getting closer to an arrest right now.
Okay, enough.
I
Now
do,
we got to
and
move
I
into the
think I
serious.
wanted to ask you what your opinions are on
No, no,
why
no. Stop. We got because now you're talking seriously about
why were the two back doors propped open. I
Wait.
think oh, don't talk serious?
Well,
Okay.
no, because now we're talking about a crime and a serious crime. So now go
Okay,
into
let's
your
talk
normal
about
voice.
pianos. Let's talk
no.
about piano music and what movie did you watch this week? Tell me that, Dr. Gary.
Josh. Josh, let me be honest with you. This is the
Yeah,
crown jewel of my clinical career.
yeah,
Being
it's
on
good.
this show right I feel, you know what this is, me being here right now? This is the equivalent of when like Vincent Price did serious movies for like 50 years and then started making movies like where he would, you know what I mean? Where he had to say the stupidest things like, you too could be a killer puppet. Like I have hit the bottom. Like at this moment, I hit bottom.
Really?
Or
I'm
maybe you hit the top.
Or top.
Maybe you
Yeah.
hit the very top, Dr. Gary.
Get to the very top
Oh yes.
now.
No, my daddy loved me very much. He was a psychiatrist and he called me baby doll.
It
He said,
shows.
baby doll, I love you. You have the best personality of all of my children. He told me
I
that
want you to know when I was a teacher to get myself through my master's program, I played Freud in a touring play, and it was very very funny.
Okay.
And and I played him with an accent that was totally preposterous that you just brought into my mind for the first time in probably 15 years. And I made Freud so funny. I made him a sort of Groucho Marx.
Oh my gosh.
Spoke with that, but he spoke with that, with this kind of bad Viennese accent. It was a lot of fun. I like doing voices a great deal. I think it's a lot of fun. I do it too. But you are very good at it, though. I have to say, your little accent was very very good. Now,
Well,
tell me
it makes it very easy to approach people in public places that you don't know at all. And I like to walk up to people and start talking to them. if I notice like a nice husband and wife out with 3 beautiful children, I will say to them, I will use my voice and I say, you have very beautiful children. And I just want to tell you that God loves you both very much because He brought you together and He gave you these 3 beautiful children.
And what happens after they pepper spray you?
No, they love it. But if I were to walk up to them and go, hi, God,
voice.
they'd actually, the wife would probably slap me across the face if I used my regular voice.
Probably.
But when I use, because I used to be a model when I was younger and I was real sexy and women were trying to kill me when I was younger. So now to sort of, as I get a little bit older, I kind of like to dampen the whole, Dee Dee Thomas effect and, make myself softer around the edges and just be more like this helpful kind, because I am helpful kind and I read my Bible all the time. So I try to help people and I try not to make it like a sex thing. You know what I mean? And when you have a voice,
I don't know anything anymore. I really don't. Listen, in all seriousness, now, let's leave this because I'm having a lot of fun with this as is Josh. But you had a question about Guthrie, and I think that's such a serious matter. Let's sort of leave the.
I'm not having that much fun.
Okay, well, if you need to go on to the next caller, I don't want to hog the whole thing.
No. I want to know what you want to ask about Guthrie.
I have to tell you, Nadja, not Miami Beach, wants to meet, if he's still around, Joey Badger. She said he has the sexiest voice, and she likes his accent. And I said, I tried to tell him not to hang up because they want to do a 3-way call, And I don't know if he's still out there or what. But
he's
now
actually he's in training to become a priest. So.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
No.
No, he is. Yeah.
You're so funny.
That's true.
No, it's not true.
Well, I think you guys are just charming. And Josh, I just think you're dynamic and interesting. You add so much to Chris Madonna's show.
Oh, thank you.
And Dr. Gary, you're the whole highlight of Chris Madonna's show. But what I noticed lately, you've been giving him a lot of respect. And really, you have the most brilliant mind of anyone on the show. But it's sort of sweet how you'll say, oh, Chris, should we get back to this later? Like you're sort of defer to his opinion, and that's really nice. So you're a very nice person.
Do you understand that like when people call me that, I have flashes to things like I can't use a toaster. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I am not a brilliant person. Like, there are things that I cannot do that are so ridiculous. The other day, I tried to bounce a ball off of a wall, and I broke a cup behind me.
Oh my gosh!
The family member who watched me literally went like this. Like,
really?
Like a face palm, and I was like, "I'm sorry, but at 48, it's the first time I ever did that. Like, you got to give me some credit." And they were like, "Are you kidding me?" I am telling you, I threw it, and it bounced and went like a ballistic. It hit, and then I started talking about the physics of it and how it ricocheted and whatever. And then I was like, "I'm never touching one of these again. Like, this is lethal." Like, I easily could have taken my eye out.
I know, but what does that have to do with being
with
brilliant?
A ball?
Trying to say that I am not brilliant.
Any fool can hit a ball against the wall, right? I mean,
obviously not.
Obviously not. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to tell you that you think that I'm brilliant. I am dumb as a bag of hammers.
Well, no, can I say I know that I'm brilliant, but there's so many stupid things that I can't do, and I've been called ditzy Dee Dee, but then I've had other people say, "Oh, you think that she's ditzy?" Yeah, she's
called you ditzy. You don't believe that? That's crazy talk.
They now, say listen. One guy said she's ditzy like a fox. That's what he said about me, because I did a real estate deal with them.
Did they say you were foxy like a ditz or ditzy like a fox?
Both, I think.
Okay. Now, listen. In all seriousness, you're a character. I got a kick out of you. I like people that you could not make up if you tried. It's sort of how I feel about Venice. That city could not be made up. You are a totally unique human being. You just keep on being unique. Now, I wouldn't want you, speaking in that accent all day long in my ear. But I might have to, flee.
Dr. Gary, would you like some Wiener Schnitzel?
I can't handle that. I can't do it. I
Wait,
can't.
Dr. Gary, I'm just curious. Are you single? I have a hard time believing you're single. Are you? I'm sure all the ladies, do you want to know? Go ahead and tell me in the
Why
studio
would
chat here.
anybody care about that?
Oh God, all the ladies want to know because you look like George Clooney and you have that brilliant mind. Everybody wants to
Sebastian
know.
Cabot, a deflated Sebastian Cabot.
And ladies, I just found out he's 48. I Googled it just a couple of days ago. I Googled how old is Dr. Gary? And the AL didn't know. It said, oh, but he graduated this year. So we're guessing he's in his late 40s or early 50s. But ladies, everyone listening out there, he's 48. Josh, how old are you?
Notice I didn't answer you. I didn't answer if I am.
I'm 60.
How old are you, Josh?
Let me put it to you like this.
Well, I'll be 60 in November.
No way.
Yeah.
Josh, you look like you're 26.
He's
Dang.
talking about dog years. Listen. In all seriousness,
Josh is a baby. Are you really going to be 60? What skin cream are you using?
I don't have to answer you. I'm fine.
Oh my gosh, you look
I
great.
use oil of lay.
God, you both look so handsome and good. It's such an honor and privilege to talk to you. I'll call it again. Do this again soon. And
listen, lava lamp
please
lady. The answer to the question is that I am very private about those things. Okay, but the truth of the matter is that I would be remiss if I did not say that there is a person in my life who has an extraordinary way of kind of filling my heart up and making it happy to be beating.
It's his probation officer.
And it's definitely true that there is a goodness in my life, but I am very private about it. Josh, isn't that true for you too?
Oh, that's so sweet, Dr. Gary. Well,
That I'm private?
Do you want to know what my love status is? I can tell you. You can look at my Facebook page and read all about me because that's how I signed in. My husband died 2 years ago on our son's 18th birthday.
Oh, so sorry.
And I will never date again, but I can be both of your friend if you want.
Now, hold on a minute. Now, you said something that interested me a great deal. So I am fascinated by people who fall in love so hard that they'll never date again when the person dies. I
won't. Yeah, I will not.
Now, hold on. I don't mean to sort of knock you, down from this kind of elated whatever, But my question is, can you just take a moment and tell us about this person that you loved so much that your life was forever altered by their loss? I'm just curious. Who is this?
His name is Paul, and Paul William Thomas, and he was a lawyer, and I met him at his office, and as soon as I was actually living with another guy who was 7 years younger than me, and we were engaged, and I thought I was in love with him, and then I went to go meet with Paul. My dad wanted to sue Merrill Lynch because he lost over $100,000 in the stock market when they were transferring funds from that account to a different one or whatever. And I went to see Paul, and he just walked up to me in this pinstripe suit with this, confident walk. And he went, "Hi, I'm Paul Thomas." And he shook my hand and grabbed the box of trading receipts. And I just, like every friggin' cell in my body, I was like, oh my God. And I always had all these guys like me. And usually I dated these guys younger than me that I could control, and they worked out a lot. They were kind of on the dumber side. He was older than me, and he was very confident, super smart. And I just, what can I say? What do you say, got bit by the lightning bolt?
What did you love about him the most?
His heart. He was just the sweetest, kindest man, and his confidence and the way he loved me and the way he loved my dad, who was the psychiatrist. We took my dad on our honeymoon, and we traveled with him to Hawaii and Florida and Las Vegas, and he treated him like he was so special, and it made my dad so happy because my husband was 100% German, blonde, green-eyed, real handsome, and my dad was from Tehran, Iran, and my mom's Swedish, and my dad was very self-conscious about being Iranian doctor, and Paul made him feel like he was the man. So we went everywhere, and he actually moved my dad into our house, and he was driving this red Jeep, and he just treated him with such respect. And I don't know, just the way he was so romantic, like how he'd put ice cubes in his mouth and then lean over me and kiss me with it. And the thing is, he wasn't romantic a lot of people. He was very selective, and he fell for me. In fact, he asked me to move in with him before we ever even made love. You know what I mean? So I just fell for him so hard, and yeah, I'm still in love with him now. And he died. He died of alcoholism.
Right, but he's not really gone. He's just sort of moved.
He moved into the other realm. Yeah.
Do you still feel him?
Yes, every day. In fact, I know if I was with somebody, he would know it, and I'm not going to do that to him. He's here now. Yeah. I had this one lady, this like psychic. She said, "I'm talking to you," and she said, "I could see your husband right next to you."
Does he have ice cubes in his mouth?
He's tall. He's got blonde hair, green eyes, and he
let me
died. Listen to this. He
Yeah.
died on our son's 18th birthday. Like, he died right on his birthday of an alcohol overdose.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Like, how do you ever get over that? You know what I mean? He really loved me, and and there was a time in the relationship where I actually cheated on him early on, and with my ex-boyfriend Keith, who's now in prison out in California for claiming that he had the COVID-19 cure on YouTube. He's in
like sands through the hourglass.
So are the days of our lives.
He's all over YouTube. He was my boyfriend for like 8 years. So Paul and I were having a little bit of a rough time, and I just fell back with Keith because he was a really good friend, and Paul like never really got over it, if you know what I'm saying.
I mean,
still feel guilty about it now.
Can I read you something?
Is it a poem?
No.
Okay, yeah, please do.
I love to read random things. So, have you ever heard of Sullivan Ballou?
No, I haven't. What poem? He has a poem?
No. So Sullivan Ballou was a major in the Civil War who wrote a very famous letter to his wife right before first Bull Run. Is that the one that's also known as Manasseh? Anyway, first Bull Run. I think he was killed, but he wrote her this very beautiful letter, and I think it became famous because of the Civil War documentary, the Ken Burns. Remember that amazing series? And I love this letter, and I'm going to read it to you if that's okay. Okay, because he knew that he was never going to see her again, and I love it very much.
Please read it, Dr. Gary.
Yeah, it's a poem. I know it's a poem.
It's not a poem. It's just very beautiful. It says, "My very dear wife, indications are very strong that we shall move in a few days, perhaps tomorrow. Lest I should not be able to write to you again, I feel impelled to write a few lines that may fall under your eye when I shall be no more. Our movement may be one of a few days' duration and full of pleasure, and it may be one of severe conflict and death to me. Not my will, but thine, O God, be done. If it is necessary that I should fall on the battlefield for any country, I am ready. I have no misgivings about or lack of confidence in the cause in which I am engaged, and my courage does not halt or falter. I know how strongly American civilization now leans upon the triumph of the government, and how great a debt we owe to those who went before us through the blood and suffering of the Revolution. And I'm willing, perfectly willing, to lay down all my joys in this life to help maintain this government and pay that debt. But my dear wife, when I know that with my own joys I lay down nearly all of yours, and replace them in this life with care and sorrows, when after having eaten 4 long years the bitter fruit of orphanage myself, I must offer it as their only sustenance to my dear little children, Is it a weak or dishonorable, while the banner of my purpose floats calmly and proudly in the breeze, that my unbounded love for you, my darling wife and children, should struggle in fierce, though useless contest with my love of country? I cannot describe to you my feelings on this calm summer night, when 2,000 men are sleeping around me, many of them enjoying the last, perhaps before that of death, and I suspect that death is creeping behind me with its fatal dart, that I am communing with my God, my country, and thee. I have sought
Okay.
most closely and diligently. Now I'm getting there. I have sought
No,
most
keep
closely.
going. I'm just plugging my battery in. Go
I
ahead.
have sought most closely and diligently, and often in my breast for a wrong motive, this hazarding the happiness of those I loved, and I could not find one. A pure love of country and of the principles I have often advocated before the people in it, the name of honor I love more than I fear death, have called upon me, and I have obeyed. Sarah, here's the part I love. Sarah, my love for you is deathless. It seems to bind me with mighty cables that nothing but omnipotence can break. And yet my love of country comes over me like a strong wind and bears me irresistibly on with all those chains to the battlefield. The memories of all the blissful moments I have spent with you come crowding over me, and I feel most deeply grateful to God and you that I have enjoyed them so long. And how hard it is for me to give them up and burn to ashes the hopes of future years when, God willing, we might have lived and loved together and seen our boys grow up honorable manhood around us. I know I have but few claims upon divine providence, but something whispers to me. Perhaps it is the wafted prayer of my little Edgar that I shall return to my loved ones unharmed. If I do not, my dear Sarah, never forget how much I love you, nor that when my last breath escapes me on the battlefield, it will whisper your name. Forgive my many faults and my many pains that I have caused you, how thoughtless, how foolish I've sometimes been. How gladly would I wash out with my tears every little spot upon your happiness, and struggle with all the misfortune of this world to shield you and my children from harm. But I cannot. I must watch you from the spirit land and hover over you and near you while you buffet the storms with your precious little freight, and wait with a sad patience until we meet to part no more. But, oh, Sarah, if the dead can come back to this earth and flit unseen around those they loved, I shall always be near you in the garish day and the darkest night, amidst your happiest scenes and gloomiest hours, always, always. And if the soft breeze fans your cheek, it shall be my breath, or the cool air cools your throbbing temples, it shall be my spirit passing by. Sarah, do not mourn me, dear. Think I am gone, and wait for me. We shall meet again. As for my little boys, they will grow as I have done, and never know a father's love and care. Little Willie is too young to remember me long, and my blue-eyed Edgar will keep my frolics with him among the dimmest memories of his childhood. Sarah, I have unlimited confidence in your maternal care and your development of their characters. Tell my two mothers I call God's blessing upon them. Oh, Sarah, I wait for you there. Come to me, and lead thither my children. And after he wrote that, he was killed.
Oh
He
my
was
God, that was so beautiful. You memorized that whole thing?
no. I was reading it, but the point of it, it's
You
so beautiful.
weren't reading it, Dr. Gary.
I,
There's
and
nothing
he
like
died,
that.
and he died. He was killed outright,
You
and he
missed
wrote
your
an
calling. You could be an
incredible letter.
actor too.
Isn't it beautiful? The idea that I'm trying to convey to you is
Okay.
that you found that kind of love where you're kind of bound by these cables to a person spiritually, and he knew that with full confidence that he was going to die and then sort of be around her forever. And what I'm getting at is, I hope you had that kind of love.
I did. I do. That's what I'm saying. When we met, it was our spirits connected. When we got married, our spirits joined, and they're still joined now, and they always will be. And
That's right.
I'll
And
never
you'll
be
see
with
him again. That's the point.
I love him so much. And his birthday is August 7th. He's not going to have it. I love him. He was a good man. Do you know, right? His dog died and he was really sad. And he went to the Helen Woodward Center and he said, "Give me the two dogs that have been here the longest that nobody else wanted." And he adopted them. And then they had to find homes for him when he died.
Good job,
He
Dr.
was
Gary. You
just,
made her cry.
he's so sweet. But he
I knew,
acted like he was real, tough guy. I mean, he was very intimidating, you know what I'm saying? So but I saw through it. He was a lot like my dad was like that too. So, but yeah, I miss him every day.
I knew it. I knew it when you called and you were being so funny. I said, if I poke this with a stick, there's going to be tears under.
Really?
Yeah,
You think
because
I'm hiding something by being funny?
no, I just think that way of funny people. I think funny people, if you tap them, the tears come out. And the
Well,
thing is that
no.
I just think there's something very sensitive about you, and I like it. I think you're a lovely person, and I knew that the letter would resonate with you because
It wasn't a letter, it was a
Dr.
poem.
Gary, let me test your memory. This is the poem that I've been thinking about all week when I think about him. Let's see if you know it. It's short. Do you know William Wadsworth?
oh, of
The poem.
course.
Can you recite it's not a very long poem. Can you recite
Which one?
Splendor in the Grass?
Oh, you mean the one that they named the wonderful movie over?
Yes, that poem reminds me of my husband this week. Can you say it?
Oh Lord, I don't know if I remember it off the top of my head. I mean, I could recite it, but I don't know if I remember it off the top of my head.
Can you look it up online and read it? Because you have such a beautiful voice.
If you really want me to, but although
Yeah, I really do.
Josh probably wants to hit an eject button and send you sailing over the moon, but if it's okay,
Okay, yeah, I won't keep you much longer after this.
Oh, that's okay. I think it means something to you, so I don't mind.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
One day when I meet my maker, I'll say, look, I spent a lot of time doing these weird things for people that made them happy.
And I'll be the one that sends you
You're
there.
giving psychiatric care to the viewers on the layout.
Oh, yes, I remember this poem. Yes. I don't remember the whole.
And you can tell your girlfriend, I'll be 63 in October, so I'm no threat. Even though I'm still very pretty, I'm an old woman, My husband would have been 65 on August 7th. So anyhow, Paul William Thomas, and our son's name is Trenton William Thomas. And
we're almost the same age.
Listen to me. Where he is, he doesn't age anymore. There's no more turning a different age. He just is. Now, the poem "Splendor in the Grass," which is very beautiful. It says, "What though the radiance which was once so bright be now forever taken from my sight, though nothing can bring back the hour of splendor in the grass, of glory in the flower. If we will grieve not, rather find strength in what remains behind, in the primal sympathy which, having been, must ever be, in the soothing thoughts that spring out of human suffering, in the faith that looks through death, in years that bring the philosophic mind." Oh, that's very beautiful. I'm glad that you made me think of that. I haven't thought of that in probably 20 years.
It's beautiful.
Oh, yes. Well, listen, today is a very special episode of the lab because it's like we're just like swimming through the unconscious tonight. It's totally random.
Oh, yes.
And yet, you I'm telling you, there's something about you that viewed from over here, you're very, very funny, and viewed from over here, very, very heartbreaking. And beautiful quality to have as a person. So, and listen, you got to take that.
It's such an honor to talk to you, Dr. Grant. You nailed it right on the head. I do have a very kind heart. I can tell you that.
I know, I'm teasing, but listen, in all seriousness, that love that you have, you're in mourning because it doesn't have anywhere to go anymore. You've got to find someplace to put that love.
No. I take care of the cats, and I love my.
Does that do it for you? That's awesome.
No, I read the Bible. I pray to the Holy Spirit. I'm happy. I take care of my yard. I've taken care of this 4,300 square foot house. That's why I got obsessed with the Nancy Guthrie case. I thought someone could break.
Wait, you have a 300 square foot house? Now Josh wants to know if you're single. Josh, she's got a 300 square foot house.
No, I won't date again. I will not date. I'm like Nancy Guthrie. I will not date again. And
well, I'm only like 2 years younger than you, so it's all right.
You guys are so sweet, but no, I don't want to take up any. It's such an. I'll call in on the next show. But who's this Dusty Joe I see in the studio chat? I think we better put that person on. I don't want to hog the phone line.
Well,
Thank
I'm
you
sure we'll get
so much
well, thank
for
you.
taking my call and talking to me. It was such an honor and privilege. And you, Josh, you're so quiet, but yet you're so deep when you speak. And I think you're going to come up to 100,000 subscribers. I subscribe now to your channel. I'm going to tell everybody about it. Dr. Gary, you keep coming onto his show, okay?
Well, I
And
do.
Kristen
I've been
Hunt
coming on every recently now with regularity. And look, I told you I have a complex that I have long worn out my welcome. At this point, I just goof around because I feel I have become a ridiculous caricature of myself. And
Oh
yet,
no, everybody's waiting for you to come on.
but
They all
every
talk
once in a
about you.
while, you people like you call, and I have an opportunity to be a human and kind of do something for somebody, and I
Oh,
think it
thank
meant
you.
something. Yeah, it feels like it meant something to you. So I
It
think
did.
that's
You and I are kindred spirits. You like movies. You play the piano. Me too.
yes.
And you're a kind soul, and so we're friends now. You know what I mean? Not
We both like
everything is about
poetry.
sexual connection. I mean, I meet people. I tell people that too. Like people when I meet them and they've been married, I say, you know what? That sexual thing is going to die. It usually lasts a year and a half. Real love is two spirits connecting. When you get married, you make a covenant with your partner and with God Himself. You both do. Don't break it. This
There's
world
only
is
so
full,
many ice cubes in the world, D.
huh? What does
There's only
that
so
mean?
many, like when your husband would put ice cubes in his mouth.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm very serious I'm from Michigan too. We're very serious over there. When you get married from Michigan, at least my dad was that way. My dad, the only woman he ever slept with was my mom, my little brother Marty, who owns Motor City Guitar Store there. The only woman he ever slept with, his high school sweetheart, and he's still married to her now, and he's 5 years younger than me. Like, it just runs in the blood, I guess. But
Very
listen,
good.
I don't want to take any more.
All
I'll
right,
wait. I'll
D.
look
Thank
for your
you.
next call, and I'll
All
call
right.
in when you have Dr. Gary on the show. So bring him back soon. And Dr. Gary, you are the coolest dude. You and John Lamb.
I know you like cool because of the ice cubes in the mouth, but I am not.
No, in the coolest. I mean, that's my husband was a really smart, kind of nerdy, cool guy. I don't like straight out cool guys that are cool at the expense of being mean to other people. That turns me off big time.
She likes
I like
nerdy
guys that are
guys.
sort of brainy, cool. You know what I mean? A little bit on the weird side. But listen, bring John Lamb on the show too with Dr. Gary. That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do
And then
that.
you could hit
Okay.
on John Lamb.
Thank you, D.
Cassie E, and Dusty Joe are waiting on the line there. I see them in there.
We got many of them.
Dusty Joe wants to come on, and Nadia, Miami Beach, wants to come on. So I'm going to let you go, and all of you ladies, I'll see you on the next chat.
Bye-bye.
But bring one of these. Nadia Beach has been there. Nadia Miami Beach has been there forever, and Dusty Joe wants to go on right now. So it's your call, and I'll let you.
I'm gonna go in order. Take care. Bye bye.
Let's get to her. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Who else is next?
That was poetry, and I don't care what you say, and don't deny it either.
There's a famous letter from the.
No, it's poetry. Cynthia, go ahead. Cynthia,
our moon goddess, are you there? Cynthia was the moon goddess, and that's all.
Okay. You there, Cynthia? Cynthia. Cynthia.
What are you, Rocky?
Cynthia.
Adrian.
Lisa, go ahead, Lisa. Where you at? Oh my God, dude, what is going on tonight? Just like
that call was something else, man.
Yeah, but it was a great call, but you contributed to that greatly.
Because I cannot leave people. How do I say this? When I could feel that somebody's got something going on behind the curtain, I can't leave the curtain closed.
You wanted a chance to read a love letter.
I wanted a chance to remind somebody that something that they think is gone is still there.
You made her cry.
I made her feel alive again for a second.
I don't know, man. Seems like she's lived quite a bit with those ice cubes going on.
Stop that.
Cynthia, are you there?
Okay.
Cynthia's not there. Lisa's not there.
You got to see the comments in the chat when I read poems. They're like, I wish I liked this sappy crap.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, makes sense.
It's hilarious. They can't stand me. Go on.
All right, Linda. Go ahead, Linda.
Dr. Gary.
Linda, it's been
Josh from a surprise.
What happened to you? I never heard from you again. How
Well,
are you?
I know it's I've been having some health issues. But Dr. Gary, I'm a little peeved with you because you are not a caricature of yourself.
What?
You're not. I can't pronounce it. You're not a caricature of yourself.
Oh, you don't like that I called myself a character?
Yes, I don't like that at all.
I liked it.
And another thing is, I know Joey is he calls every time and this is just a personal thing of mine, but I don't like that he calls you Gary. I think he should call you Dr. Gary. You earned that. You earned that.
I didn't go to 13 years of evil medical school to be called Miss. Well, anyway, no, but
exactly.
But listen, in all seriousness, that's very sweet of you.
You need to be called Dr. Gary. You have a PhD and an MD or whatever by your name.
At the end of my life, at the end of the chess game, the pawn and the king go in the same box.
And I'm trying to keep on topic, but I know Nancy Guthrie is. I'm. My one question is,
what do you think this is a true crime program?
Yeah, exactly.
Joey is catching strays tonight.
Yeah, Joey needs to. I'm sorry, but while he was on, I had 2 drinks. I changed my ice cube tray 2 times and put. Oh my gosh! I used the bathroom 2 times while he was on. So, I'm sorry. Anyway,
we have callers going at callers tonight. It's interesting.
Yeah. And Josh, I need to know if you are you going to write that book?
The camel one?
Are you going to write it? No, not the camel. A book about your life.
I mean, I don't really have any plans to. The camel book, yes.
Well, okay, the camel book is fine. I'll accept that, but I seriously think you should write a book about your life and what happened to you.
Yeah, I have considered it, but I don't have any actual plans at the moment.
What's the name of the book about the camels?
It's untitled so far.
It's really cute, actually. From what I've heard him say about it, it's really cute.
I heard he was going to call it Hump Day.
So.
No, but it was going to be something like a hump in the desert or something.
Yeah, it's really cute. I actually have written a memoir of my childhood, and I've done a first draft, and now I'm going to do a second draft. I'm going to self-publish it on Amazon and see what happens. But do you think, Dr. Gary, at this point in time, I think I know what the answer is, but Nancy Guthrie is probably not going to be found alive.
Oh no, I don't think so. No. But hold on. You worried about something. You said you're having trouble with your health. Are you okay?
Yeah, I just have bad knees, and I have to get an epidural for my lower back. It's pain management at my age. And so on August 20th, I'm getting an epidural. And once I do that, I'm hoping to be a little bit more active, and I should be able to do more walking and everything, which I'm used to doing. So so that's basic. It's just everything old people get.
Yeah.
And by the way, Dr. Gary, my daughter, by the way, Dr. Gary, I think you probably already have someone who's close to you. My daughter is about your age, and she's beautiful, in case you're interested.
He is, for sure.
Or even you, Josh, because she would only be 7 years older than you.
You like that
Well,
she's willing to throw her at anybody at this point. Even you, Josh. You know, if
even
I get
you.
desperate enough,
I don't
maybe
know.
I
I'm
could
50.
shave you, take the hat off, and pretend you're Dr. Gary.
And by the way, Dr. Gary, the I watched the lab last week or the last time you were on, and Dr. Gary, you were on fire with your jokes. Oh my God, I was laughing
Was
so
it the
hard.
Sebastian Cabot evening? The
You
Sebastian
were on fire. It was
Cabot
so
handle that?
funny.
I still
Fat,
can't get over that.
fat Sebastian Cabot.
Yes, Renee, I'm not going to bring it up again because it gets me. It's like that I Love Lucy episode. Slowly I turn. Like it drives me insane
Yes,
every
I
time I
love you.
think about being compared to Sebastian Cabot. I want you to know that I sat in the diner the next day on my phone looking at Google Images, going, maybe I'll find one when he's younger and it won't be that insulting. And he was bigger.
I love your
Bigger.
impressions. Your impressions are great. I love them.
What an impression.
Will you do a Sebastian Cabot impression?
It's not that difficult. You impersonate a beluga whale wearing a beard. Anyway, the point is, in all and I want you to know, somebody wrote me the nastiest email about that I insulted Sebastian Cabot. I kept it because I love it so much, but it was this. It was like,
Can you read it? Will you read it?
it's on the laptop, but I love
Oh,
it
come
so
on.
much because it's so angry that I made. I almost wanted to write back and be like, I wanted to say something like, "Wait until you see how I rip into Mr. Belvedere next week." Like, what on earth? Why is anybody that upset about Sebastian Cabot?
And I don't understand why people, I mean, I don't know if they don't like your poetry, but I write poetry and I love your poetry.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
mean, when poetry means that you have a deep soul.
Is that
And
what that means?
yes,
I didn't
yes,
know that.
seriously.
No,
Yeah.
I know. I seriously, I didn't know.
Yeah, you do. You have a deep soul. You have an old soul. When you write poetry and you understand it, because I've written it and then I've turned them into songs.
What happens if you don't understand it? What does
If you
that
don't
say?
understand it, then there's something wrong with you.
That makes sense.
Well, Linda, I think the fact that you write poetry is very beautiful, and I think what poetry is trying to say something that is universally understood, masquerading as something that is particular to you and your
E-
experience, and you say
Exactly.
it in a way that and people can read it and go, "I've had that." I know exactly that experience, and I think that's very, very beautiful. And
And what?
but I'm so happy that you're not experiencing a health setback like
No, it's nothing
Lori.
serious. It's just old age, old age, seeping in. And with my back, there I have degenerative disc disease, and there's not much that can be done at this point in time except pain management. And it's weird because ever since I've turned 70, things have gone. They say downhill, but it's really uphill because it's a long climb, and a hard climb. And so I have to, the only way I can get relief, because I can only stand for like 3 to 5 minutes and I'm in excruciating pain because I have a herniated disc in my L4 and L5 and S1. And so
Well, can I ask you something? Do you
yeah,
think, are you one of those people that because of your own aches and pains that you have like a special place in your heart for Nancy Guthrie, because you can kind of almost like understand a little bit of her experience? Because a lot of people tell me that they say, I have trouble walking to the mailbox. I imagine how scary that must have been for her. Like in other words, can you imagine yourself into her story a little bit?
exactly. Exactly. I can.
Tell me that. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Because you're limited when you get to a certain age. You're limited in what you can do. And 70 probably is young comparatively to how old she is. But fortunately, I do have alternatives, as such as once I get the epidural, the pain totally goes away because it's pain management at this point in time. And then because I want to be able to. I used to be able to walk 3 miles 3 or 4 days a week, but that's when I was in my 40s. But now that I've turned 70, that has changed. But once I get the epidural, the pain will go away and I'll be able to walk and do a lot more things, and that totally changes your attitude and everything, and you have such a better positive, a much more positive attitude on things, you know. And but I I tell you, I look so forward to your lives, and I watch you
So the
um
days of our
Josh, even when you're not live, I watch you all the time. Sometimes I'll binge watch you, but
Thank you.
I do appreciate what you bring forth, and I'm and especially Nancy Guthrie, because it's been a while ago, and to try to keep her, you know, current, you know, is, I think, is important. And I just don't, you know, I I'm in I feel like I'm in a safe neighborhood and so forth. I don't worry about that. But you know, and what Savannah must be going through, I have a lot of empathy for people's pain. And it just tears me apart that she's going through this and she has no closure to it as far as what has happened to her mother.
Yeah, it's just a terrible. That's I think that's why I was kind of interested in the case. I very rarely do you hear about somebody that's that age being kidnapped and then kidnapped for ransom on top of that. And you know, I have an 82-year-old grandmother who I just can't even imagine what I would be going through. Even was it 5, 6 months later? It would just
Right.
be horrendous. I mean, I would just be losing my mind every single day.
And Josh, I appreciate so much that you're keeping her to the fore, because not everyone is. You know, when the story comes and the story goes, but you'll continue, and you've continued, because I've watched the last several of your programs have been about Nancy Guthrie, and I appreciate that you're trying to keep her in the news so that we still. And I live in Surprise, Arizona, which is about 2.5 hours from Tucson, and so I appreciate the fact that you're trying to keep her there and in the forefront so people don't forget about her.
Yeah, and I have some of the best people on talking about it as well, and so you know, we're really fortunate to have that, and that's why these call-in shows are nice too. You know, because you know we can talk about anything,
yeah.
but sometimes it deviates a little bit, and then I also do my other show as well,
Right.
where I don't talk much true crime at all, I mean, this case is like a lot of people. Obviously, it really hits home with a lot of us because I mean, we just want to know, like, we just want to know why and what happened, and we want whoever's responsible for this to be caught and not, you know, for it to not just go away. You know,
Exactly.
that would just be a travesty.
Well, Josh,
And you know what?
do you want to watch a few minutes of the Enton interview, because I think we touched on things that were a little sort of interesting and novel.
Sure, we can. I mean, we have some callers lined up still.
Oh yeah, because I think people would find it really interesting to listen
Why
to
don't
that.
we get through? Why don't we get
And
through some more
and Doc,
callers and then we'll.
Yeah.
well, okay,
No,
and
go
Dr.
ahead.
Gary.
Yeah, go ahead. You know, I
Dr.
always,
Gary,
Yeah,
you need to stop putting yourself down. Seriously,
yeah,
I
Doctor
think
Gary.
you are awesome.
when did
I,
I put myself
I,
down?
well, when you're talking about a caricature of yourself,
Well, you know what I mean.
I know, it's a
Wow,
little bit of a joke,
no.
but you are awesome, and you're so intuitive, and the way you um are able to look at things from your perspective, especially as a psychologist, is wonderful. And so I just admire you so much. And I'm so glad that Josh has you on his show so much, because I will never miss a show if you're not on it. Or
Well, he
no,
was
Josh,
trying to get me
not that I won't watch you if he's not on it,
Hey,
trying
that's
but
to get
fine.
to
it
room
makes
with.
it even better.
He thinks I'm going to room with him at CrimeCon. We'll be like Ralph and Norton when they're handcuffed. Ralph.
Somehow, some way, I feel that God is going to make it happen.
But I'm so glad you guys got together and just
like divine
FYI,
intervention.
you need to give Joey a little bit more downtime.
Maybe we'll let you deal with them next time.
Yeah, there
Now,
you go.
I love Joey. I think his calls are great.
I think
No,
so.
he is great. I do like his calls, but it leaves less time for me. And it's all about me, you know.
It's true. It's true.
Of
Well,
course.
well, Linda, thank you so much for calling. We appreciate
Sure.
you.
You take care. I love you
Feel better
both.
too. All right.
Okay,
You
I
love you
love you
too.
both. Thank you.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.
Don't you love Linda? Is there
Oh, she's
anybody
great.
else? How many more people are on the line? I don't even remember that interview. I'd love to.
1,
Go
2,
ahead.
3, 4, 5.
5. I'm going to be dead. I'm going to get my social
6.
security check in a little while.
You are?
I'm joking. I'm going to be old enough to get it if we stay on this.
Cynthia, are you there? Okay, 4, 5. I don't know, 6,
For
5.
little Indian boys and girls.
All right,
Next.
Dusty, go ahead, Dusty Joe.
Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Dusty
Hi.
Joe. That's the greatest name I've ever heard in my life. Is your name actually Dusty Joe?
All
That
right,
is awesome.
Dr. D. You can take that up with my mother, who is actually a whole entire another call. Okay.
Well, Dusty Joe is a dope name. I'm sorry. I love it.
A dope name.
It is my name. It's on my driver's license, but you can call me DJ, or if you'd like, you can call me Dusty Joe.
I'm calling you Dusty Joe. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That's just too cool. I like
That's-
that name.
Yeah. Well, I'm a female, so you can imagine my surprise for 43 years now. I haven't liked it, but I'm starting to grow to it.
Well,
There's nothing wrong with that name.
I think it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I
But
mean,
it's not
where are
mine.
you
I don't
from?
like mine either.
What state are you from? I don't like yours either, Josh. Where are you from?
Oh, Dr. Gary, you can guess.
Minnesota,
No.
Give us a clue.
Michigan,
Well, Dr. Gary, I could throw a stone at you.
Mars.
Yeah. Yes, Josh, Mars.
You're
I'm from there.
You're in the tri-state area.
I definitely am.
Okay, give me another clue. Let me ask you a question. When you leave the house, how high is the probability that you're going to smell trash and be shot? Is it very
100%.
high? Or very
Is it
low?
on a scale from 1 to 10?
Oh, yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how high is the probability? Trash smell and bullets flying. How high?
I'd say 8.
Okay, so it's New Jersey or New York. Okay, I'm going to go with that you're in New York.
Yeah, I'm in New York.
Okay.
I'm in
Okay,
Philly,
you
New
said
York.
8. You said 8. So okay, so you're you're in New York and it's in the 5 boroughs, right?
Well, I'm in Philly, New York. Do you know where Fort Drum is?
Oh yeah, but that's as bad as Manhattan is?
It can be, yeah.
Get out of here. And does everybody sound like you? Are there people up there called Dusty Joe? I mean, that's awesome. All I know
No,
is that
no.
I am down in the 5 boroughs and whoa.
I know where you are. I'm way up here. I mean, I actually emailed you because I grew up in Watertown, New York, and I know you know
Oh,
where this name is from.
yes, you know what's most famous about Watertown, New York? I'm going to give you a bit of trivia. What is made in Watertown, New York?
Well, am I allowed to say it on here?
Yeah, go ahead. What's made in Watertown, New York?
Well,
There's a
definitely
product that
certain
people
things.
use every day. There's a product that people use very often that is famous because it's made in Watertown, New York.
Obviously not soap.
No, it's those little pine tree shaped the deodorizers you hang in a car.
I live
Those are made in Watertown, New York.
from the little tree store. Yes, the tree,
That's
the car freshener. Yeah, there's a
Now-
car freshener
now-
right in
So then
Watertown.
why does the whole neighborhood stink 8 out of 10? That's what I want to know.
You would
Now-
think. That's what I always asked. Why do we have a car freshener site right here and the whole place is trash? But the reason, well, the other
accent.
reason that Watertown is famous is because of you know who, and I'm getting to that chapter in your book.
You know what she's
Who?
talking about, Josh?
Son of Sam?
No, Gary knows who it is.
Tell him.
Yeah, tell me.
Shawcross.
Arthur Shawcross, the
Oh,
serial
yeah,
killer.
yeah.
Yeah.
His father
He
was in
started in Watertown, but he ended up in Rochester. Now, the thing is when I watched some, I did
Like
email
ugliest
you.
human I've ever seen.
He really was one.
Yeah, imagine that being your last sight. Poor people.
Oh,
Yeah,
looks like
that
a
I
is.
thumb.
remember when he told Michael Stone. Michael Stone loved to tell me the story. He told Michael
Yeah.
Stone that he was fascinated that human beings taste like pork.
Oh God.
When he
No,
told that
and
story to Michael Stone was like ready to puke. He said to him, "People taste like pork." And Michael was like, "Okay, thanks."
Sick.
Yeah, he
yeah,
was.
and like I said, I did email you because you happened to catch my chat a while back, and I emailed you. He actually married my aunt years ago, Linda.
Yeah.
I
Fascinating.
think her maiden name or her ex-married name was Beatty, I think. And my dad is a retired Watertown police officer, and he helped pull that. And I grew up right at the edge of that bridge in Watertown, and he helped pull the victims. Unfortunately, there were the boys that, as far as I know, he never talked about, but the
Yeah, because he
boys.
started out with kids and then he moved into prostitutes. But he had this
Yes, and
phase where he was interested only in killing children.
yeah, what a sick pervert. I hate the fact that I'm even affiliated with him. And for the record, I was talking about this before the show even started. My last name is Paddock, and I lived in Nevada. However, I am no relation to that mass. I'm no relation to that. So I I really feel like I have to reiterate that because I actually have never heard about him until I heard you, Dr. Gary, say the word Paddock. And of course I'm like, well, wait, hey, that's my name. And you had described it and I'm like, oh gosh, that's horrible, but it's no relation. I'm actually from New York. I was born and raised in Watertown.
Your
I
accent
just
is fascinating for somebody from New York. I'm amazed by your
it,
accent.
it's because I never thought I did have one. You know, everywhere I've went, I've lived in Texas, I've lived in Tennessee, I've lived in Nevada, I've lived in different places, and everybody's like, "Well, you don't sound like you're from New York," and I'm like,
Like a
"Because
conglomerate of a few different. Yeah. Well, listen, I really enjoyed your call. You're a very interesting person, and I thank you a lot for calling in. But if you ever have any recollections about Shawcross you want to share, I mean, I'm writing about them, so I'd be interested to know them. Okay?
yeah, it's a little bit." But I did have one question. Can I ask that real quick?
Yeah.
Sure.
And I'm like 45 minutes into the show now watching it, but on the case of Kohlberger, I remember Chris McDonough saying something about how serial killers are naturally they had one common thing, and it's SA of some sort, like a fantasy or whatever. But with Kohlberger, I feel like, and I asked the chat earlier, and they said that no, he didn't SA anybody. So is it because maybe he was interrupted, or if he couldn't do that on his, like I'm not trying to be graphic, but he couldn't. I'm not sure. I didn't follow that case, and I'm really kind of starting to catch up now.
Go ahead, Josh. Answer that.
Well, I mean, the question of the essay, I think Dr. Gary's theory and thought was that was part of the plan, but it went awry, correct?
That's what I think. Even though he was probably completely inadequate.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, and I agree with him. I think it was sexually motivated, no question. I think he was obsessed with one of the two girls in that room.
Maddie,
And
I think.
that's what I mean. I think so, but I think he took his aggression, most of his aggression, out on not Maddie, but Kaylee, because she was probably giving him hell. And
He was in the kitchen, right?
no, they were both in the bedroom together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think that's what I personally, and I agree with Dr. Gary's theory on this, but I think that was probably part of his motive.
I think so.
Okay. And he didn't achieve that. So
Not that we know of. No, I don't believe
I think
so.
if he hadn't been interrupted, he wouldn't have been able to anyway. I think he was an inadequate person.
right. And so, I mean, as far as the, the unalivings, that is terrible and that's horrible. But, a little part of us might be, joyous that that didn't happen for him. And look what he has to show for it. So I mean, that probably sounds really crass, but
No, I know. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I get it. It's just that really, in the end, there's no winners. Because of but it doesn't sound crass. I understand your sentiment. I get that.
right.
Because he was all about fulfilling his fantasies, and I'm sure that was part of it. And somebody said, well, was that about, was he worried about leaving the DNA? Well, Dr. Gary also famously said that he thinks that he was possibly remove her from the home, correct?
Well, because I think there was a lot of Bundy impersonating going on, and that Wawawee Park that he gave as his alibi was the site of what they thought was a Bundy murder. Bundy wouldn't confess to it at the time of his execution. And I didn't think it was a coincidence that he chose that as the alibi site and had been spotted there a number of times late at night. I thought perhaps the point was to blitz-style attack the intended target, to take her in the car to that park and engage in Bundy-like activity. But nothing went as planned, although I can't prove it. But I'm sure that ultimately the idea was to do things to the victim while she was unconscious or deceased or, ante-mortem, that were of a perverse nature that had to do with control and domination.
Yeah, Lazy Cat, we understand that there's no evidence of it. It's a theory, and it's a theory based on his fascination with Ted Bundy, who he seemed to know incredible amounts about. So
listen to me.
I get
he
it.
had violent pornography on his cell phone of sleeping women, okay, who looked drugged or asleep. I am not entertaining the idea that there was not a sexual element. That is a concrete interpretation of the construct of sexuality.
Of course.
So forget that. Of course it was sexual. What else was it?
Oh, I don't think there's a question
and
about
with that being said, in my theory is that he acquired nothing except for the unaliving of these poor people, and now he's sitting in prison. Now he's trying to come out with his whole shenanigans and stuff like that, and he got, as far as I know and as far as I can tell, he got nothing out of it except for the heinous crime of unaliving these poor students. And I couldn't figure out what the motive was, and if that was the motive, he didn't succeed.
He definitely didn't achieve what he went in there to do. That we can agree on for sure. And I remember I said to the Gonzalez's when we did the episode with Chris McDonough, where he had them on for an interview, I said, that one of the things that could give them a sort of strange consolation is that it was really, I think, because of their daughter that he got nothing. I mean, she put up a fight, you know what I mean, against this guy, and and he got nothing, nothing.
Yep.
So
And now he can sit in an 8x8.
right, no, exactly. He's let him rot,
Yep. I agree. All right, guys. Thank you for
Thanks,
taking my
Dusty.
call.
Appreciate it.
I wanted to know those two things. You answered them great. You guys are wonderful, and I will be watching.
All right. Thank you very much, Dusty. Bye.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. Stephanie. Go ahead, Stephanie. Where are you calling from?
Hi, guys. I'm calling from, close to Dr. Gary as well.
Yeah, Mars.
Okay.
Got it.
Take a guess.
Hard to say. Give me a clue.
Potsdam, New York.
No way.
Not even close.
There was a popular reality show about it.
Jersey Shore.
There you go. Well,
Right.
I'm not from Jersey Shore, but from New Jersey.
That's fire.
Okay.
I love that show. Jim Tan Laundry.
I know. They were funny.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, but thanks, guys. I'm so glad to be talking to you. I couldn't really figure out how to dial in, and finally got a
here.
chance to. So I'm glad to be chatting with you guys. I'm calling in really because of the Koberger situation, and it's kind of sparked my interest again with the new documentary that just came out on Netflix. And I guess I have like two questions. Well, I don't remember actually if they brought this up in the documentary, but one thing that really stuck out to me that I remember hearing was that when he was arrested, he had asked the cops if, I remember reading that he asked the cops if anyone else had been arrested. So did you guys
that was
ever?
a ruse, though. There was nobody else involved.
Okay, that's what I thought. I'm like, because I don't think he had an accomplice. He, that never really.
But he might have.
Man.
It made me wonder if he planted the hair so that he could later say, that. But
Right.
But the thing is, because he was into crime scenes and studying
Right.
that, and all this. But I don't think so, because why would he have taken a plea?
Right. Well, the other thing too is I just read today that, I know he brought up, to your point that, he mentioned that, the cops never looked, the investigators never looked into hair that was in Ethan's hand. But then I read today that was Ethan's hair. So do you guys have a theory as to like how Ethan's own hair would have been in his hand?
Who knows? I mean, I only know that I don't believe, I don't take seriously this whole thing. I mean, I just think it's a controlled ploy. And, sure, let him, people have legal recourse, let him do what he wants to do. But, Josh, on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely do you think it is that conviction is getting thrown out?
Probably a 0.05.
I mean,
yeah,
it's pretty hard. I mean, it's like
that thing was pretty iron.
Like
pretty ironclad. Every appeals court that if it even makes it that far, they will play the part where the judge says, "Are you entering this plea because you are guilty and because you committed these crimes?" And he'll go, "Yes," and then they'll go, "All right, throw it away."
Yeah. I mean, the judge asked him, are you, he said he was guilty. And so now this whole thing is just insane. And I really feel like he just wants attention probably because he's bored and he thinks he's too smart and good for jail. And he's probably kicking himself every day that he left the knife sheath behind. But besides that, last question I had, because I know you have other callers and it's getting late, but the other question I have, and I guess this is probably more for you, Dr. Gary, well, either of you, but and I'm really not trying to victim shame at all, but with the roommates, I put myself in their shoes, and I don't know, maybe I watched too many horror movies as a kid and I've always been very aware, but it's so hard to fathom, hearing screams, hearing the dog barking, seeing your friend on the ground. I mean, Dr. Gary, is it common in a
It's not
situation like
uncommon for people to take a very long time to call, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, because the fact that they waited 8 hours to call, and I mean, again, everyone's different, but I put
Don't read
myself in
into
their.
that. Don't read into that. What people do in those situations is impossible to judge. In fact, that was
Yeah.
said at the time that people felt that it was that it shouldn't be judged because, believe it or not, there's precedent for that. There are people
Okay.
that do things like that.
Did you watch the new documentary?
I
I
did.
did.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I
sorry.
watched, I saw the first episode, and I believe, chief of police addressed it, and he addressed it very well.
Right, right. No, I know he mentioned that, obviously due to the trauma, everyone reacts
He
differently.
didn't think that it was odd in the least.
Right, right. I know the cops initially asked themselves that in the documentary, but then when you're right, when the chief spoke on it, he mentions how initially they asked themselves why'd they wait so long, but then it seems like he gained a better understanding of,
I've heard of
you
people
know,
locking themselves in closets for over a day when something happens,
right.
and
And
they're
then,
and they
yeah,
become frozen in fear.
yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, especially because at that age, like they probably were used to people coming in and out all the time. And, who's expecting this serial killer to walk into your home, especially because they're probably used to parties and plus also there's the element where people suspect they were probably drinking, you
Probably.
know, may have been doing, not, I don't want to say they were doing drugs, but who knows? At that age, people experiment, could be.
Kids did
Um,
Adderall. Kids do Adderall in college quite often.
right,
Things like
right.
that.
Right. So that would definitely probably skew their judgment too, I would imagine. And like I said, no one would be expecting that, who really thinks that at that age, especially.
Yeah.
Um, and the last thing I wanted to bring up, sorry.
Go ahead.
I, I don't know if you guys saw the latest interview podcast that Brian Enton did with Kaylee's dad and sister.
I saw. It was
Yeah. So
Guy
with
Ray. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just so freaky to now think that they mentioned I believe he was a cop or an investigator mentioned that apparently they suspect he was in the home and
We
had been inside the home.
when we did the profile with the foundation, Chris McDonough, Greg Cooper, Dean Jackson, Ann Burgess, and I, before he was even captured, we said that he was going to have been in that house. It's such
Wow.
sick behavior that anybody who told us otherwise, we were like, yeah, okay. I mean, it's what you do when you're that type of offender, and it's the same thing with the
Yeah.
stalking that they claim there's no stalking. Yeah, okay. So how did he
Yeah.
find out where this person that he became preoccupied with lived?
Right. Right. And
And
did they
what
ever
room to
say
go
how?
to.
Right. So
Right.
right.
Right. And
Probably
did they ever say how he met? How did they? This is one thing I missed. Did they ever say how he not formally met Maddie, but like I guess was ever introduced? How she became a subject of interest for him? Has that ever been mentioned anywhere?
well, there's different theories about it, but I've never heard it officially said.
Okay.
I know that he followed them on Instagram and
Right.
Greek
knew what's
Greek restaurant, that whole
yeah,
thing.
knew
Oh,
like
the vegan
yeah, could have
restaurant.
went to the
Right.
restaurant she worked at. Um
Right.
yeah, terrible. What a
Great.
psycho.
I know, I know. It still freaks me out. I know it's been years, but it's such a creepy story. And not even to get into the Nancy Guthrie because that's horrifying too. But
Sure is.
lots of awful stuff in the world. But thank you guys so much. I know you have other callers and it's getting late. So thank you so
All right,
much for
thank
your
you.
time.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks.
All right, let's see. Dr. Gary, we got three more to do. We got three more here. It's Joe Ann. Where are you calling from?
Hey guys, I'm calling from Southeastern Kentucky, and I just want to forewarn you guys that I'm heavy on the redneck dialect, and even Siri cannot decipher it. So there's your
Interesting.
warning.
Okay.
So, uh, so good luck. I hope you understand. But
Appreciate it.
anyways, first I wanted to say something to the previous caller when she was talking about she'll never date again. I don't think she quite knows how lucky that she really had it. Well, she probably does. But anyways, I have a completely different story. My mother chose to never date again after my father died. And that was 23 years until the day she died after that. But anyway, but the reason that she never married again, never talked to another man, was because of the things he did to her. So that lady is more blessed than she could ever imagine. And I just wanted to say that.
Mm.
And it's good to know that somebody had that kind of love. So, anyway,
Mm.
on to Nancy Guthrie. First of all, I also watched entirely too much Scooby Doo growing up because this mystery is about to drive me crazy with Nancy Grace. I mean, not Nancy Grace, Nancy Guthrie. Anyways, and my husband, by the way. But nothing about this case adds up. Literally. From the point, medically and psychiatrically. After no, I'm a retired nurse, is how I know. Right from the jump, I have a problem. Because first of all, let's say that Nancy is as feeble as everybody says. Then why on earth would the caretakers allow her to take an Uber to their house? Uber is not going to help her to a car. That's just not going to happen. Next, what family member, given her given situation, would ever not at least have the option of a live stream at her house? That is very strange to me. Did she have a subscription that didn't get paid on purpose? Granted, we don't know if there were cameras on the inside, but we definitely know that there was one on the front door. There was one on top of the building in the backyard. The FBI took the second one. So, anyways, my theory, and it may just be a crazy theory, but there's a couple people obviously that would know where she had cameras, without a doubt. And we don't know, without testing that blood sample, that number one, and of course by talking to Uber as well, did Nancy actually leave earlier by the front door? Did she scrape her arm? She may not have even known it and bled from her front door to the Uber. Now, granted, that can be solved by seeing how long the blood had actually been there. But, that could be a common occurrence for her. She's already elderly. We know she has to be on blood thinners because she has a pacemaker. So, for her to have scratched her arm somewhere on the door and dripped all the way to the driveway could simply be Uber on that, on that side of things. But back to her actually needing to take an Uber. So, for whatever reason, they decided to let her take an Uber. So, you're going to tell me that they were fine with her taking one over there, but they had to take her back home for some reason. I mean, what real safety was that? You can't really say that, it's the whole night thing because she already lives in a dark neighborhood. That's a given, and why not go back through the front door again? I mean, we know that the garage was open, but do we know who entered the garage?
No,
No.
we don't. No, we have no idea. But look, I tend to agree with you that I I too have the odd feeling about her Ubering at her age and in her state, of, but without knowing the dynamics of the family, it's so hard to speculate. Would I personally allow my grandmother to Uber anywhere? No, I wouldn't.
Exactly.
I
I
would
mean,
not.
I wouldn't either. I definitely wouldn't speculate. But even on that respect, really, if you think about it, Josh, uh, their defense on that particular one was, look, look right on the footage. She can barely get to the car. She is not a walk away.
Yeah, I mean, her own daughter says that some days she couldn't even make it to the mailbox.
Exactly. And then if she was caught on that video walking, that was just more evidence that she does not walk well. I mean, that's just crazy to me. Then all of a sudden, they care so little to let her come there, but they're bound and determined to bring her back. It has to be intentional that the porch guy was seen on the camera. I mean, we all know that. They needed a scary face. It worked in everybody's favor to have him on camera. That's a given. I do not think he's the mastermind. That's also a given. The back doors being propped open would lead you to believe that it would take probably two people and perhaps the widest door in the house to pack a body out. Because not every door is the same size. Like your back door is generally bigger than the front because it needs to open up for washer and dryer. So, I mean, that part is not really a mystery either. And you don't need to see porch guy. Just so happened, if you entered through the garage, then nobody else gets seen. I mean, just the whole thing makes you feel like this lady was worth far more dead than alive.
Well, I mean, it just wouldn't make any sense if there was no financial motive whatsoever, or, maybe not directly money up front, or,
Right.
but, that it's cheaper or, I don't know, advantageous
Well,
for her to be out of the way,
yeah.
in some capacity.
Yeah. And Chris brought up that fact that, she had multiple mortgages on her house over the years. And you have to wonder who needed that money? More than likely not Nancy, because her husband was pretty well off, first of all. Then you have, Annie and Tommaso, who I'm not saying they did it, I'm just making the point that I'm sure neither of them are quite as successful as the other siblings.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it's quite a high standard. Uh,
Yeah,
Savannah's extremely successful, and
yeah,
I'm sure her brother is too.
exactly.
So I mean, it takes all kinds
Yeah,
in each family. I mean,
yeah,
not many people in the world are as successful as Savannah.
yeah. I mean, I agree completely. But, even on the opposite scale of that, I mean, we don't know that they didn't owe her money. That's a given and just couldn't pay it back. But the other thought is, we don't know the details of any will she may have had. And that brings up another aspect of that. Let's say she already had her will, or the home was left in a family trust. Now, I don't know most families, but it does once again bring income into the mix because most families, given their situation, it would be who gets the house. Okay, then on that theory, you have, well, the brother has his own life, pretty well off in a different state. Savannah definitely doesn't need that. Who apparently loves Arizona enough to stay there? I would attest probably Annie and Tommaso. Because how many people think that Savannah's going to ever move back in that house? Probably not many. But, that's just, like I said, another one of these crazy random thoughts. But, you really have to wonder over and over and over again who really profits from this. And regardless of if it's, some just random Joe Smo that knew her, you can't, I'm like Chris, you just can't rule so many things about Annie and Tommaso out. And the more you think about it, the more it will drive you insane. I mean, Tommaso played multiple venues, same venues as Kalila did. I mean, what's the chances that they don't know each other so well that he already had those cell phone numbers? I mean, it's a high possibility. And when you especially go back to another point that I noticed on the plea agreement for Kalila, we've always talked about the language as possibly an AI or other second language. Well, once you get into that plea agreement with way too many details associated with Nancy and not necessarily would really affect the text meaning, you've got to look at on down in that. One of the statements made in that plea deal says when he agreed to the plea, that plea was read to him in both English and Spanish because that was his first native language. Therefore, here comes your weird English again. Although I do think that it sounds feminine at the same time. But so that does not, that is just one more thing that makes Kalila very unusual in this whole thing.
Well, I think that we would all agree that Kalala is definitely a wild card in this, and it's
Yeah.
he's very odd,
Yeah. I
an
mean,
odd player in this.
who's going to believe a meth head? Think about that. He can tell up whatever he wants to. And since when in the history of the entire world does a judge accept a guilty plea from someone who admits at any point that he is high? That is one of the contingencies you're asked about when you're making your plea. Do you fully understand? Did anybody coerce you into saying this? Are you under the influence of anything that will alter your mind?
Well, to be fair, they threw him in a rehab.
But I agree. I That part I 100% agree with. And I'm thinking they threw him in rehab exactly for that. They wanted to try to see if they could clear his head so somebody might accept a further because it's not a finalized plea agreement.
No, the
But
judge has to still accept it.
right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But on that hand, if they clean him up, he could be if he can his meth memory will allow it, you know, he could make a really, really good witness. I mean, he's most definitely, whether he gets any other incentive out of it at all. I mean, nobody wants, especially if you're that bad on drugs, you don't want to be on the inside longer than possible. I mean,
Sure.
you don't have your choice of drugs in there almost any given time. I mean, even beyond jail. Sometimes you'll do the craziest things to get in jail, but you sure do a lot to get out too. But I mean, it's just so it's insane to me that so much has happened with this case, and apparently, I know we don't know everything. There are so many ifs that literally, I'm a psych nurse, and this case might earn me a bed in the place I used to work, and poor old Nancy, I'm sure, deserved far better than what she got, without a doubt. And I'm telling you, before this is over, we'll be real lucky if we don't see another group of people that are completely, just totally outraged because this is getting so crazy that I'm sure the old people in that town, I mean, they're probably going crazy with some of this stuff. And then Nano's, he ain't about to ease anybody's mind. He ain't about to comfort nobody. So, I mean, if they don't really do something with him, first of all, I don't think he'll ever, ever, ever solve this case. I think it'll be solved, but it won't be him. It,
Well, I
it
mean,
could be,
it sounds like, if you listen to him talk, it sounds like he's only briefed, not doing any investigating. So,
yeah.
but
I,
he's in
even
charge.
on even on our limited information, that we know right now, her best hope and prayer, in my honest opinion, is a group of people like the Cold Case Foundation. And
But it's not
literally,
gold. It's not gold.
well, I mean, what I'm saying is a
Yeah,
group like
but I've
hers,
had that
know,
conversation with Chris before.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be. Like they will help if asked to.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying just from
You know
some of
that,
the,
Gary. You're on there.
I
yeah,
understand,
that's what I'm saying.
but I just be careful because you don't want to give the implication that it's gold. It's not.
Oh yeah, well, that's not exactly how I mean it. What I mean is, if at some point that this is drug on and they're not really getting anywhere, in some case, some way it does become code, or nevertheless, a group of people consistent as a group of people actually in law enforcement that are on the same consistency, that kind of investigator and that kind of thing is what I really meant by that. Um, it's going to take real masterminds that have learned something from their job experience. And I hope it never goes long enough for, the Cold Case Foundation to actually step in.
Yeah, well, I hope that too, and hopefully we can get some answers and whoever's responsible for this be put away and justice
Yeah.
served. But I think we're a little ways away from that.
Yeah, I do too,
Still,
unfortunately.
unfortunately, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Joanne,
like
thank you. We appreciate your phone call.
okay. Thanks, guys, and I want
Hey,
y'all every chance I can get.
thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Bye bye.
All right, we got two
I do
more.
need to jump off, so they would have to be like,
Yeah,
'cause
well,
I'm working at 5 a.m.
yeah.
I have
Let's
yeah,
just
so
take these two real quick. Cassie, go ahead.
I can't hear you guys.
Oh, hold on.
Hang on, let me exit and come back.
Okay. Janet, go ahead, Janet.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you.
Good. How are you, Dr. G?
I don't remember.
He's falling asleep.
Oh, God.
Thank you for the CD.
You're more than welcome. Was the package intact when it made its way to you?
Yeah, it was. I have many Hildegard Bingen CDs, but I didn't have that one. Actually, the recording is really quite beautiful. It's really very beautiful. I was very moved by it. It was very, very beautiful. Yeah, I think all of Hildegard Bingen's music is gorgeous, but I had never heard that recording.
Well, Susan is a personal friend of mine, so
it was beautiful.
yeah.
I said so. Really wonderful.
Great.
Is that how you sit when you're talking, when you're taking in information?
This, like,
or is that just when Janet calls? Because that's the face that I make when you read poetry.
I think I mean, it's a good question. It looks sort of like a person getting a migraine while defecating, but I think it's it's an attempt to look pensive.
It's like chewing. It's like eating an apple when you're on the phone, like Costanza.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
no, but in all seriousness, so what brings you around today?
I think it's been a long day and a long night. Well, first of all,
it's been a long one.
The title of my autobiography, Janet. My autobiography is going to be "It's been a long day and a long night." Either that or like merry-go-round broken down or something, carousel on fire, something like that. But I need a good autobiography title, and I like that. It's been a long day and a long night. I really like that.
Well, I saw the Brian Etten today with you on it, and I thought it was really, really good. I was happy to see it. I was
hoping Josh would show a few minutes of it because I thought it was very interesting.
Well, I'm sure.
Is that what you want me to do?
Oh, maybe if Janet wants to comment while you watch it, it's okay.
Sure, I'll play it. Are you on the whole episode?
No, just the I don't know how much they used of it,
Perfect.
but the last like couple of,
Okay, hold on. Is it the one where it says nobody's ruled out?
Yeah,
Is there another one coming up, Dr. T?
there is, yes, but it was on a different case.
Is there another interview that hasn't been aired yet?
Yes.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, okay.
I did 4 interviews today before this podcast.
Oh my gosh.
How long were you on here? Oh, there he is.
How could you miss
interactions with them? So I want to play for you my conversation with him.
Oh, actually,
Dr. Brucato, it's nice to see
what Brian says before the conversation, because I have no idea. That's such a funny.
Who is a criminologist, and that
The way you're freezing him is funny. I love Brian. He's such a nice guy.
He is.
to 88 crime, 1-800 anonymous. So hopefully and I've said this before, like even though my sources have said that there's no suspect right now, that can change in a matter of minutes if someone calls in the right tip or something comes through with this DNA. So I just hope that it happens soon. I don't consider it a cold case, and the sheriff has said that too, just based on everything I know, just because there's still so, which is discouraging to say, who I've talked to in the past. And I was interested in talking to him because of everything we've seen with the alleged ransom notes, the full ransom notes coming out. And then also, I'm still very interested in the Savannah Guthrie video that she posted within the last week, where she is talking directly
out and what he used. Yeah, that's why I wanted
to someone and says that she has a specific message. I still think that there is more that we don't know about why she did that video and why she chose those specific words. So, and Dr. Brucato is the perfect person to talk to about that. Just because his whole profession is getting into the mind of criminals and understanding sort of interactions with them. So I want to play for you my conversation with him. Dr. Brucato, it's nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. I was thinking about you just because we've talked so much about Nancy Guthrie since early on. The first thing I wanted to ask you was just, what do you make of the 6-month mark? I mean, I know it's just a date, but I didn't think we would get to this point with so little progress, it seems.
Actually, in truth, when everything boils down to just something like DNA or data like that, it can take quite a while, particularly when you have DNA where there's a profile that has to be, deconvoluted and things like that. It can actually take quite a long time. It's just when I look at the investigation, there are little things that I, as a psychologist, I look back on and I think might have been little windows that could have been taken advantage of psychologically, that sort of fell by the wayside, that might have been useful. But I think in terms of just an investigation as they normally go, I'm actually not surprised that we're here.
What are those windows that stood out to you?
Well, I mean, for example, as we've discussed previously, these 2 notes, these 2 ransom notes, although the second one isn't really a ransom note, that Savannah herself believes are real, do suggest to me 2 different people who are perhaps experiencing some kind of rupture in terms of their attitude about what happened. And I think that could have been milked by law enforcement in terms of going live and appealing to the author of the we didn't know she had a heart condition note, because whoever that person is, I think, was experiencing a desire to distance herself. I still think that was a she, herself, emotionally or even legally. And it would have been a very good idea, I think, at the time, all those months ago, to appeal to that individual.
So you still think there's multiple people involved in what that the notes were written by? The first note, which was kind of more aggressive, obviously, the second note, which was more sympathetic, are different people.
Yes, I believe that there are at least 3 psychologies involved. Porch guy, who I do not think wrote either of those notes, who I think is clear was some sort of goon that was just sort of put there to give the impression of a totally outside agent, who never met this woman, who came in to do this and to do the dirty work, to do the, and who I think looks like he's, had a run-in or two with the law before, perhaps even drugs, and comes across as really quite a cool-headed character under pressure, because I don't think this is his first rodeo with doing something nasty. But the other two characters, the one who wrote that first note, which is demanding the money, who is, I think, even just from the message, more intelligent than the person we see on that camera, comes across as much more scheming and manipulative. And the person who wrote that second note, who I think has a more emotional quality and perhaps knows Savannah and feels some modicum of sympathy or wants to distance themselves, I think are three different people who were involved in different degrees. And I've said from the beginning that I believe that when this is all, cleared up, and I think it will be, we'll see that there was a person who did the deed, who I've called the waiter, who served it, and I think that's Porch Guy. And behind the scenes, I think there are at least two people with different psychologies and motives.
If there's multiple people, are you surprised at this point they haven't turned on each other, that someone hasn't ratted the other out? Well,
I think that if Porch Guy gets arrested, I think Porch Guy would be easily reasoned with that, you can turn everybody else in or else, you're in a lot of trouble. And I think that is the kind of person who was probably pragmatic enough to just say, fine. Regarding the people that are behind the curtain, I think there's something in that dynamic that is a little bit more complicated than we understand. For example, when I look at that note, the one that was written with the modicum of sympathy and the distancing, it seems to me that a risk was taken in writing that, because it would have been written from the same place that the first one was written. But the first one is demanding money, and the second one is undoing the ability of the first person to get money, which suggests to me that the first person would have been kind of mad that the second person wrote the note. So why would they do it? Why would they take that risk? So there's something going on in that dynamic that's causing a rupture, and yet for some reason no one's come forward. So this suggests two people that are bonded together somehow in a secret or some kind of emotional dynamic, but they have different psychologies and different feelings about what happened. And that's, I think, something that could have been milked.
You talk about windows that could have been used as
an important point, Josh.
Say that again.
Were you listening to any of that?
Yeah, listen to the whole thing.
Okay, so don't you think that's an important point? That they should have that?
They did. Well, that's what you said at the beginning of the show when we were talking too.
And that's what I think. I think it's fascinating that Savannah seems potentially to be doing just that, to appealing to this split in the psychologies. So go ahead.
And that's what I mean. I'm kind of surprised that they never did it, but it makes complete sense that you're surprised that it hasn't happened either.
Opportunities for law enforcement. Do you think this latest Savannah video that we saw, where she said she had this specific message and was clearly talking to the person or people who wrote these notes, are they trying to, it seemed very strategic to me. I mean, it didn't just seem like Savannah popped on and was, just suddenly speaking from the heart. It seemed almost like the earlier messages from her where the words were chosen carefully. Do you think law enforcement is specifically trying to open another one of these windows?
Well, let's put it this way. If it was a complete coincidence and she just decided to do that on her own, which is entirely possible, I don't think she could have done a better job of phrasing it in the way that one would advise her to do, right? Because what I think she did there was very similar to what you would do if, let's say, you had, a couple or friends or whatever that you think were involved together in some kind of deed. You have to rupture them. Well, what you do is you isolate one of them and you say something like, look, I think you had no taste for this. I think that you got caught up in this because you were scared. I think you got pressured into this. I think you're a little scared of this person, I think that, etc. And you kind of give the person an opportunity to kind of come forward and say, look, this is what motivated this, but I really didn't want this to go so far. And now I'm scared and everything is because one of the people in the story is usually more cruel and psychopathic, and one is just sort of sucked into it and goes along with it. And you have to break that person away from the nastier character. And I think that there would have been an opportunity. And when, I think when Savannah said those things, I mean, I think they were sent directly to the ear of whoever I think that party is. Because it's true that there's a longing almost in that message to say, look, I want you to have some closure. It's bothering me that, you might think you did something. There's nothing you could have done, that kind of thing. I understand the idea of legal distancing, but why take the risk to send that if some emotion wasn't overwhelming you? And when you're overwhelmed by emotion, just a little bit of pressure you could pop because you're looking for relief. Problem is those notes for a long time ago, and this message from Savannah is coming now. So I was fascinated by it because it wasn't long after, I've been talking about these notes. I said to myself, boy, I wish I would have said something earlier. Maybe I could have given somebody the idea a long time ago, but I think it's just a coincidence that someone had the same idea. You know what I mean? But it would have been helpful probably.
So when you saw her message, it does seem to kind of play into your theory of there could be multiple people and she's trying to pull one of them away from the other, pull the sympathetic one away from the other.
Entirely. Or it could just be that she believes that whoever did it acted alone and is experiencing some kind of guilt or sympathy. But the problem is I don't think anybody could read those two notes and think it makes sense that they were written by the same person. They don't even sound like they were written by the same person. And the florid language of the second one is nothing like the mechanical tone of the first. And as I said, sending the second message completely undoes the purpose of the first message, which is precisely why I infer that there was a rupture.
Jim Clemente, who I interviewed a couple days ago, retired FBI profiler, he kind of has the opposite theory of you in terms of he thinks it is one person. And he thinks, with the we and the R kind of making it sound like multiple. And then when in the second note, there was one me instead of those, we are, he thinks that was a mistake, which indicates that, that the person is one person, but was trying to make it seem like multiple people. And could that have also, maybe that's why they tried to sound different in the different letters, possibly? Like, do you think there's any chance that could be the case?
It's possible. I'm a big believer that people have different hypotheses and you don't know what's true until later, right? I mean, it's entirely possible. But and I respect other people's ideas. But my sense is that even just from a glimpse of Porch Guy in comparison with that second note, it's almost impossible to believe that those were produced by the same psychology. I think that the reason for the me is that the person who wrote that second note was having an emotion that was not shared by the other people that were involved in this matter. And I think it was very revealing to kind of be like, I alone am experiencing guilt or fear that these other characters are not. And, I think whatever motivated this was chiefly financial. But in order to get people to go along with it, they all have to have their own motivations and you have to prey on them. And for Porch Guy, it was probably money. But whoever this second note, whatever, I think there was something else. It was money and something else, emotion, some kind of thing that was preyed upon. And then the person regretted it because it all went up in smoke. Ultimately, nobody got anything out of this. The way this is going to feel to a basically normal individual, not a psychopath, but a basically normal individual, is like the way you would feel if you put all your money into a slot machine and it went up in smoke. And now you're looking at it going like, what was I thinking? I got nothing. And now on top of it, I'm even more trouble than I was to begin with, that kind of thing. And I think that regret feeling, that even from a practical level, forget about the emotional, that you might have in some way known this victim, it is something that needs to be taken advantage of from the perspective of pressure on that individual to finally say, I can't take it anymore. I'm going to throw everybody else under the bus. I need redemption. I need closure. I need to not be afraid of the law.
Yeah,
and
you talk,
they will get caught.
you talk about pressure. If you were advising the FBI, so she
Mhm.
did this video last week. What now? What do you do now? I mean, should she keep doing targeted videos? Does it
Keep it
just
up.
need to be, you need to be pounding this person so they can't ignore it, or do you take a break for, like, what do you do next?
Well, if, let's say, for example, there is somebody or some little group of people that they are secretly aware might be involved, but they're keeping their mouth shut and kind of keeping them on a long lead, I think you say so. You say, listen, we're not going to be specific here, but we've got our eye on who this is, and we're pretty confident. And this is your chance to say something before you're charged, that kind of thing. Because I think that ultimately fear is a very powerful force for a person with an intact limbic system. For a psychopathic person, it doesn't do much, right? That kind of person only gets scared if you insult their ego. But they don't get upset, that is to say reactive, but they don't get reactive fear of getting in trouble or getting, hurt physically or something like that. But the person who wrote that second note is having some real feelings. And whether it's fear or sympathy or guilt or something. And that has to be preyed upon. The only way to do that is repetition. Repetition and putting it out there that the facts are starting to point clearly to somebody. And let that person know that they better hurry up and say something.
Yeah, it's interesting what you say about fear, how you can use that.
Of course.
That's really, it's so do you envision in your mind that the people involved in this, or the person involved in this, is just back at their job, like just going about their everyday life, has a like?
I think that Porch Guy, who knows if Porch Guy even has a job? Porch Guy is a kind of, out. Is just somebody that I think was sort of approached.
You always hammer Porch Guy.
I want him to hear me. I better get who has a background like that, probably. And I don't know if
I don't think he has a job either.
It's a person who would be gainfully employed. And by the way, does that look like someone with fear? I don't think so. So whoever Porch Guy is just a kind of a parasite. But as far as the people that I think are behind the thing, these are probably intelligent people who can be basically high functioning, who have to be able to lead some kind of double life. That's the whole point of using, an intermediary and hiding behind a curtain. Right. So I think such people would probably go about their business. But one of them is just thinking, boy, how are we going to get away with this now? The person I was doing this with screwed us, because now nobody's going to give us any money and we can't do anything because everybody's watching everything going on. And the other one is probably being tormented by fear and emotion. And that's why I think it's only a matter of time. It's reminiscent, actually, of the different emotional reactions that you see, for example, in the characters in Macbeth. They've committed a terrible deed together, and one is having a totally neurotic reaction, and the other one loses consciousness.
You couldn't help yourself, could you?
No. Tech with reality, but they've committed the same deed. People have different ways of dealing with emotional stuff, and but anyway, so yeah, I think they're going about their business.
Really appreciate Dr. Brucato for taking the time to talk with me. And I'll continue to stay on the Nancy Guthrie case. I've got a couple other angles that I'm working on for next week.
I thought it was great. The Macbeth part really sealed the deal.
Well, if you know what I was saying.
No, it was good. What did you think? What did you think, Janet?
Is she still there? Are you still alive?
She probably fell asleep.
It was excellent. Yes, I am.
Oh, you didn't fall asleep?
I thought it was excellent.
I thought so too. It was really good. It's smart, but the
I
one
don't
thing
think.
Go ahead, Janet.
I don't think you can top what you said earlier tonight on the show. And that was comparing the feeling of throwing a bunch of money into a slot machine and having it blow up and not give you anything back.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good analogy. Also,
I think that's how the person feels.
I think that you're right about sort of appealing to their humane side, I guess. But I think that if you do it too much, it loses.
I
It
know.
sort of loses its
We
luster.
probably
I don't.
shouldn't be going around talking about that. That's what they might be doing.
Sure, but I do think it's a good idea to periodically do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was good. It was a well done.
A lot said, but I could be totally off base. It could turn out that it was just two people or one person, and it was just money. They really thought they were going to kidnap her, and it didn't work out. You know what I mean? It's entirely possible.
But I like the thought of calling it out, regularly, because otherwise the person that's feeling guilty might just feel like they're not being seen. And if you call it out, then they know they are being seen and maybe need to do something.
Yeah. I mean, I just keep coming back to the idea that a risk was incurred in sending that message, and you wouldn't do that if you didn't feel something, whether it's fear or protectiveness or guilt or distancing. And it's just so different than the first. And I mean, the first message is basically giving an installment arrangement in terms of payment, right? If you don't pay by this day, then it goes to this way and this, and then all of a sudden, before that money even gets paid, this another person probably uses the same address to send a message that undoes the whole thing by saying she's dead. Like, why would you do that unless there was a rupture or you were emotional? Right. And that's why I think there's more than, I don't know of anyone else who's noticed that. And I could be standing alone with a goofy idea there, but I don't think so. And I have to tell you that I think people are going, you know what, there may be truth to this. Speak to that person. And I still think that's a woman.
That wrote the second note?
Yes, I think that's a woman.
God, that would be incredible.
I'm not the only one who thinks that. Jim Clemente, who was mentioned, I know also believes second note was written by a woman. I heard someone say that he said that.
Jim Clemente also thinks that Burke Ramsey killed John Bonet. So,
well, I agree. It definitely sounds like a woman. So, and people are picking up on that from you also. It's gone across all the different channels.
And Porch Guy, the chef and the waiter. I love
everybody's got it
going on. It's so odd because it was such a stupid thing to say, and then it caught on all over the place. But in all seriousness, I liked that interview. But there's more. I was interviewed by a different offender, and I guess that's going to be another episode. I didn't realize that it was going to be broken into 2 episodes. So who was in the beginning of that? Who's the first guest?
I can't remember.
Well,
I mean, once you come on, what else is there to remember?
Some bald guy.
I'm curious.
I don't know. I've never seen the guy before.
You can't put it on the screen?
No, I can.
Well, while we're waiting for that, I just want to give a real quick shout out, if I can.
Oh, I know.
To all the mods, Mary Fairyfly, Jerry Lynn, and I don't know if Holly's in here tonight, but I'll give her a shout out too.
Holly's not here tonight. She emailed me, but she'll be on the replay crew.
Okay. Well, I appreciate them all. I usually do a shout out before I call in, but I pulled a Joey tonight. There's a new phenomena that's known as a Joey. I fell asleep.
A new phenomenon known as a Joey.
Yeah, I fell asleep and then I woke up during Joey's call and decided to call in.
Dude, Joey was doing so well, and then
I thought his call was very interesting.
It was, and then Dee started hammering them, and then they fell in love. The first half of this show was insane.
I don't know what that was. It was a fever dream, actually. a little delirious.
One of the more wild
It was nuts.
shows. Yeah. Really quick here says writer of the second note. She's with nature now hints that it's time to move on. What does one do when they're near moving on? They prepare to get death certificate signed. What was that one objective? Was that one objective of writer? I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. There's so many. I just find it interesting that Sheriff Nanos keeps backtracking on everything that he says, and I mean, I get it, but he's just the fact that he's still giving interviews is insane to me. Because he says nothing except, which is I don't think he needs to necessarily if it's an ongoing investigation, but I think he does more harm than good saying the things that he says sometimes, and that's just my personal opinion. So I don't know.
Is there anybody else on the line?
We got one that we're gonna talk to Cassie really quick, and then we're gonna get going.
Yeah, it is very, very late. I mean, given that I've got to get up so early, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna sleep just a few hours, I think, because I didn't realize how late. But so let me let's talk to Cassie. Is this
Sorry,
Cassie?
Janet?
Thank you, Janet, so much. I appreciate, and thank you for that CD. That was such a thoughtful thing to send. And I mailed your what did you want? I don't even remember. Book plate or book, both, something like that. They're on the way. Okay.
Thank you. Ciao. Take care of yourself.
See you later.
Ciao. Thank you. Is this Cassie who calls often?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Cassie. How you doing? Whoa! Don't throw.
Well, she was doing good until then.
You were on a ladder and fell.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
Let me guess.
Oh no! It broke all my.
Let me guess. You just had a hallucination of a thing called the flux capacitor.
That's it. That's it.
Yes, that's the Back to the Future joke.
No, I did. I wasn't. I was just listening. I didn't want to keep you because you have to get up. I don't want to keep you. So.
No. You waited a long time, so go ahead.
Well, oh no! All my clips broke. My iPad broke. Okay. Well, I mean, my questions aren't super short, so I don't really want to get into it. If you need to go,
how about on the next one?
I'd be upset.
How about on the next one you call in? We'll get you in on the first couple calls.
So.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's what we'll do.
Josh, when we finish, just stay on with me a minute. I've got to tell you something important.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. So, Cassie, what we'll do is because we'll do another one next week, sometime,
well,
and then you call in and we'll get you in.
Well,
we should
have Cassie be the first call because she
Next
waited
time.
a long time. I think that's only fair. So I think that if
we'll do that. We'll throw you on
yeah,
first.
that's fine with me. I do not mind waiting until next week. I don't have anything super, important to.
We always
to say.
appreciate hearing from you.
I would prefer you get your sleep, and I'll call back.
Sounds good.
For whoever has to deal with you tomorrow's sake.
The world has to deal with him.
Hear me? Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Hang on, I can't hear you guys.
I don't think Cassie can hear me. Hello? All right. I don't know.
I don't know.
Let me make sure. Curious if the airing. Oh, wait, she's back really quick.
Hey, I'm back. Yeah, no, I was just saying. I'll call back next week.
Yeah, we'll throw you on first call next week.
I'll try to be prompt. I'm not a very prompt person.
Are you
That's
okay?
all right.
It sounds like you had like a fall and
she dropped her iPad.
My iPad had a fall. I didn't have a fall.
But
Wait,
you're
do
okay.
Do you think I have a head injury? Do I sound like I have a head injury? I'm not sure.
Everybody tonight has sounded like they had a head injury, including
true.
Me and Dr. Gary. Dr. Gary's being the most severe of all.
That's very probable.
But what we'll do is we'll take your call first next time.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Cassie.
Yeah. Dr. Gary, get some sleep. All right.
Take care.
Have a good night. Bye.
All right.
She's a wonderful caller.
Oh yeah, terrific. It's just that.
No, it's time to go. We are out of here. All right. Anything going out, Dr. Gary?
No, I mean, I just remember that I have a limited number of the true crime books left, and I have, access now to another 10 copies of The New Evil that I could sign. I sell those if anybody emails me at drgarybrucato@gmail.com, old DRGARY Brucato at gmail.com. And keep reading The New Evil, and I've got a couple of books coming down the pike, and maybe when the Cold Case Foundation book comes out, we can maybe do a show with a few of the members or something. Josh,
Of course. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I think people, and I'm sure, of course, we'll do the same thing on Interview Room, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
And if you have not, go check out the Interview Room. Also, John Lamb's new book that just came out on Monday. Go check that out. You can get it on Amazon. I'm waiting for my signed copy. I'm very excited about it. He's actually filming. He told everybody, so it's not a secret. He's filming for Snapped this weekend. So keep him in your thoughts as he travels. He's turning into a rock star. And we love John Lamb. Also Bob, with his knee. I spoke to him. He actually called me, or he didn't call me, but he texted me about when my father got out of prison, and him and I had a conversation, which was very, very kind. And we'll have Bob back on the show here shortly as well. So there we go.
All right,
Dr. Gary, we'll catch you next time.
Thank you. And just stay on a minute. I want to.
Sure. No problem. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you on the next show.